There is Cunningham. Coach, I know you're so high on this man right here.
What is it? Mikael Cunningham. He tall, can run, got a beautiful throwing motion, and he's got a lot of self-confidence.
So what happened to them last week? Is that more about Miami then? I mean, because Louisville, they had this streak, they had this momentum going, and then Miami throws 6 touchdown passes. Darren Williams looks all world. What's going on?
I think it was a track meet, and Miami said, all right, we got better sprinters than you do. And that defense coach, I mean, they stepped up huge.
Well, we were talking about Miami's potential of their skilled players and saying, well, potential's great, but you got to get it done. But they came through.
Yeah.
They made a bunch of plays for Jaron, and Jaron was spot on, and, you know, breaking the school record like that was fantastic.
So what decides this game tonight?
Well, I think it's really Louisville just doing what they've been doing all season long. You know, you had that lull versus Miami last week, but come out strong on offense. NC State's been struggling the past, 6 weeks of the season. So Louisville, go out there and handle your business. You should be fine.
Hawkins is 22 yards away from 1,000. This cat is a great running back. Tutu Atwell, he's exciting. And you got Mikael. It's going to be a fantastic game.
Yeah. I love it. All right, let's get it
No
over
turnovers. That's the other part. No turnovers.
That's prime time,
baby. Let's go.
Prime time. Enjoy the game, everybody.
Well, it is a cold and windy night at Carter-Finley Stadium, the home of the NC State Wolfpack. Moments away from taking on Louisville and a high-flying offense. The Pack are home trying to snap a 3-game skid. They'll put the ball in the hands of freshman quarterback Devin Leary once again. He's a rookie with loads of talent. The problem for the Pack is they have loads of injuries, and Louisville has an offense capable of running away if they can get off to a quick start. They have done that once or twice this season. The matchup coming up on a Saturday night in the ACC. Some room to maneuver across the 30, the 35, the 40.
He is a special athlete.
You've been patient, waiting. Now it's time to fade it. Welcome to the weekend. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the light at the end of a heartbeat. Fire it on up, burn it on down, lay it on back and pass it back around. Talking about football, talking about
diving for the end zone. Messi is in.
Messi, I really like his game.
Around y'all, come on in. Where you been? Where you been? Welcome to the weekend.
And we welcome you to ACC Network Primetime Football presented by Geico. So nice of you to join us tonight as the Wolfpack are about to take to the gridiron and trying to break that 3-game losing skid and trying to become bowl eligible with a couple of more victories. Now for Louisville, there's an awful lot on the line for them tonight. If they can grab a big-time road win, that would be number 6, and make Louisville bowl eligible. It'd be a very big deal after a disastrous 2018 season. New head coach Scott Satterfield is getting a lot of justified props for the turnaround of his program. We're about to find out if that includes a victory here in Raleigh, North Carolina tonight. So the Cardinals about to take to the field as well in a matchup in the ACC on a chilly and, as we mentioned, a very windy night, and that could really play a role in the outcome of this game if the wind continues. It's been gusting up near 35 miles per hour. Temperatures dropping into the lower 40s. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being with us. I'm Dave O'Brien. My partner is Tim Hasselbeck. Katie George joining us in just a couple of moments. NC State has pretty much declared, Tim, a code red because of all the injuries. It's really been staggering, taking on a Louisville team that can run up the scoreboard.
There's no doubt about it. NC State is really banged up, but there is no quit in this football team. Dave Doran, a tough, hard-nosed guy, he's going to have his team ready to go. And when you look at Louisville, really it's about what they've been able to do on offense. Scott Satterfield inherited some pretty good players. Start with Tutu Atwell, who has all types of quickness and the ability to take it deep. And then you think about Des Fitzpatrick, who's probably as complete as any wide receiver in all of the ACC. And then you combine that with Javian Hawkins, who's got a chance to rush for 1,000 yards this season. They love to run the football, and it kind of all starts from the good play at the quarterback position. But they create big plays on offense. As you see plays up over 30 yards this season, tied for the most in the ACC with Clemson. That's pretty good company to be in, and it starts with those guys on your screen there.
Talking about talented players now, Devin Leary is going to be the starting quarterback for NC State for the 3rd consecutive game now. The freshman who came in with a whole lot of hype coming out of New Jersey in his first year of college football. In New Jersey, Tim, the most passing yards and touchdowns at Timber Creek High in New Jersey high school football history.
It's one of the reasons he was such a highly touted recruit. You see him in the Elite 11 with Trevor Lawrence. And so they like the upside as gets a chance to be a freshman quarterback starting here at NC State. First time that's happened since Russell Wilson.
For more on his story, let's toss it down to the field and Katie George.
Well, it's definitely been a baptism by fire situation for Devin Leary. 3 weeks ago, Dave Doran told him the starting job was his, and then he had to face off against the 2 toughest opponents on Wake Forest and Clemson on the schedule. Leary's offense was outscored by a total of 99-20 in those 2 games, and yet the young quarterback's confidence has not wavered. Doran told me yesterday that Leary thinks he's John Elway, not in a cocky way, but in the sense that he can play at the highest level. He's hard on himself, he's confident, and he's encouraging to other people around him, which has gained him a lot of respect in a short period of time.
All right, Katie, thank you very much. I love that line, by the way. He thinks he's John Elway, but not in a cocky way.
Well, it means he still has confidence, which he's going to need, and they're also going to need him to play well.
The Louisville won the toss. They will defer to the second half, so NC State to receive and get their first crack at it tonight. A frosty night. And keep an eye on how much the gusty winds might affect play indeed. And Hussein will take it across the 20-yard line and up across the 25 to get started. And Leary to bring them out. The first freshman to start at quarterback at NC State since Russell Wilson.
And the coaches really raved about his arm talent. That was the kind of the message from the team and the coaching staff, is they feel like they can get big plays or bigger plays in the passing game because of his big, strong arm and ability to attack all areas of the field.
And he's got one of the top running backs certainly in the conference in Zonovan Bam Knight, 6-foot freshman who's had a terrific year. He's coming off 139 yards against Clemson. First pass will be incomplete off the hands of Devin Carter, who they really consider their most gifted receiver.
Yeah, and they want to create more opportunities for him, and what they wanted to do starting this football game was get a free access throw, which means basically you got off coverage and an easy completion for your quarterback. But in order for that to happen, the wide receiver has to catch the football.
So 2nd down and 10. And quickly, a little pitch here. That'll go to Lassane. And Lassane finding room. He busts free across the 40-yard line. A flag is down. Stopped eventually by Etheridge, but not before an 18-yard pickup. But a flag on the play.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
No reason for the big hole. And a holding penalty right away. NC State had a lot of penalties and a lot of mistakes last week, along with the growing injury list. And quickly erasing a big gain. Yeah, Leary is being called the future of the program. Not only is he a really fine thrower, and they love the arm strength, Tim, he can run it too.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is at the beginning of the year, Matthew McKay was the starter, and you know, I didn't think he was playing all that poorly, but they were looking for more explosive plays out of their offense, and they feel like Leary gives them a chance for that to happen.
That'll be Knight on a carry, but they shut him down quickly. And a stop on the play by Burns on a right linebacker spot. Some help from Peterson as well. Yeah, look at 3rd down conversions this season. They are 12th in the ACC. 3rd down and 7 on the first series of the night for the Wolfpack. Leary back to throw over the middle, and a quick connection here. Umezi, he is stacked up and stopped by C.J. Avery.
Listen, here's what they do. They make an easy read for Leary. He's working to his right, but then you have a shallow cross coming into your line of vision. It's an easy way to help a quarterback with a progression read where he starts front side, but then the route is coming from backside into his line of vision rather than having to turn his head and locate the wide receiver. Good play call on a 3rd and 7. Nice conversion.
Pick up that first down, 1st and 10. On a play action, going to be incomplete. Nobody home on that toss by Leary. Good pressure there by Burns again.
And you mentioned the pressure, Dave. It's actually an RPO, a run pass option, and part of the reason that Burns is there so quickly is that they're not pass protecting. They're blocking the run, and I think Leary needs to play a little quicker than that. He's a little bit, slower to process sometimes, and that's why the pressure was right on him before he could make the throw.
2nd and 10. Opening minutes of the first quarter. That'll be Knight to the right side, but not a lot of room to operate for Bam Knight, the rookie out of Bailey, North Carolina, who has rushed for 4 touchdowns this season. He had a 53-yard touchdown run against Clemson a week ago.
I mean, you think about it, you get into another 3rd and long situation now. So you had 3rd and 7 last time out, 3rd and 8 this time. Wouldn't surprise me if you do something similar than you did what you did the last 3rd down, have a wide receiver come into the line of vision.
And they were jumping, a flag down. Louisville a little too aggressive, and a flag on the play.
Offside. Entering the neutral zone, causing an offensive player to react. Number 7, defense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And that's a huge, huge play. And you've already seen Devin Leary a couple times now use the double clap for the cadence, like going on 2, basically, if you were under center. It's a nice move, especially in a 3rd and long situation, makes this much more manageable.
Yeah, 3rd and 3 for the Wolfpack on this initial drive. Mizzy in motion. They're going to roll. He's going to tuck it, and out of bounds he goes.
Well, Dave, you mentioned it, his ability as a runner, and he just escapes outside the pocket here because he doesn't like it front side. And this pretty good awareness. Looked like he was thinking about maybe throwing it, but you get out and you see that green grass as a quarterback all the way to the sideline. Smart play by the freshman quarterback to keep this drive moving.
That's another thing among many that they like about the redshirt freshman. He's very even-keeled and tends to make the right decisions. He picks up another first. He'll hand off for Knight straight ahead. Now, Louisville is a team that can certainly give up points. They gave up 35 to Notre Dame, 35 to FSU, 39 to Boston College, 59 to Wake Forest in a game they won, 52 at Miami.
There's been so much change on their defense, Dave, at the defensive coordinator position. 4 defensive coordinators in the last 5 years, and I just think that the guys on that side of the ball, not really sure.
Hussein, another trick play on the pass. It's tipped and incomplete.
Here's what's interesting here. This is a 2nd game in a row. You go last week against Wake. You go with the flea flicker. Sorry, 2 weeks ago against Wake, you have the flea flicker. Kind of as you had a drive going, you get to the +50. And I know that North Carolina State feels like they have to get creative to, score points. But Des Kitchen sometimes, I feel like, you have a drive going right away to the trick play isn't always the best thing to do, because now you have yourself in another 3rd and long situation on this drive.
3rd and 8. The 10th play of the drive here for NC State. Bam Knight again, the running back. There to step up and roll right. Throws short and incomplete. So nothing there. 10:57 to go here in the first. And again, good pressure there, that time by the nose tackle, Jared Goldwire.
And I don't want to harp on it too much, but we've seen this now where, Dave Doran's teams have always been willing to go with a trick play, not afraid to call something, because he feels like as a defensive coach, it's hard to defend. But it seemed like there's a bit of a rhythm. You've got a freshman quarterback that's making his 3rd start. You've just rushed for a 1st down, and I think sometimes you can get a little too cute.
Gill with a punt into the end zone, and the Cardinals have the football for the first time when we come back. Well, Louisville Cardinals with the football, 5-4, 3-3 in the ACC. Talk about the proper headwear on a night like tonight. That's it right there. It has started to rain as well. There are predictions for about 50% chance of rain tonight. So we're getting a little bit of everything with the cold and the wind and now the rain. Cunningham winding up, throwing deep on the very first pass play. And that is going to be incomplete and no flags. Intended for Dez Fitzpatrick and trying for the home run right off the bat.
Yeah, and I think there was a shot. Looks like it's Atwell. I think there's a shot for pass interference here. Baker Williams making a little bit of contact. If you're a receiver, and I say this every week, when the ball is in the air, it doesn't matter what your route was. Stop what you're doing and go attack the football. If Atwell comes back to the football through the contact of the defender, then I think you're likely to get a flag there.
And off for Hall, trying to bounce outside. He goes diving out of bounds on the first carry tonight for the Cardinals. You talk about Cunningham, a guy who does not throw a ton, but his pass efficiency ranks in the top 5 in the country. And coming off 219 yards last week in the loss in Miami, and he's run for a touchdown 10 times in his career.
He's a really special runner, and I think he's probably a more accurate passer, to your point, Dave, than people would normally think, but he's done a nice job for this offense.
On 3rd and 7, he'll put it in the air short. And they are going to pick up the first down and catch by Fitzpatrick.
And that's a great example of the accuracy. It's a little smash concept. And so Fitzpatrick, who kind of runs a hitch and then he's going to come inside, that ball is right into the chest of the wide receiver, which allows him to then run for the first down. That's a good play. That's a nice throw, good timing, good ball location by Mikael Cunningham.
Yeah, gains 14 yards to bring up 1st and 10. Little pitch here for Atwell. Atwell, room to operate. He gets out. Outstanding speed for the 5'9" product of Miami, Florida. He picks up 16.
You mentioned it, Dave. Outstanding speed. You can see what they want to do on offense. They want to get to the perimeter with Atwell, with Hall, with Javian Hawkins. And that little touch pass there, you just need to get 1 or 2 blocks on the perimeter. Marshawn Ford got one of them that last time, and it's something I think we'll see over and over again tonight.
Flags and whistles right away here. 9:11 to go in the first quarter.
Full start. Number 60. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You know, NC State had a lot of penalties, a lot of mistakes a week ago, but the injuries have been amazing. They had 3 walk-on linebackers in there at the end against Clemson, Tim. After Peyton Wilson sprained his shoulder, as did Calvin Hart. Even the backup, Brock Miller, went down. He got hurt and had to leave the game. It was an absolute disaster. We're going to snuff this one out and bring down Hall. That's Murchison with the tackle.
Yeah, and Murchison is, really, one of their healthy players, one of their leaders on that defense that's kind of holding it together. And so, Murchison, who's inside here, you see, as they just try to get this zone run going out here, just does a good job of blowing it up. In fact, that's actually McNeil blowing it up, and then Murchison comes and cleans it off. But they are undermanned on that side of the ball, Dave, and they're doing a pretty good job of just competing.
Play action. And Cunningham will scamper out of bounds. NC State buckling down there to chase him out of bounds. So it will be 3rd down and 18.
And one of the things you have to do when you're so banged up on defense is you have to be more simple. You have guys that were on the scout team a week ago now starting, and so when you get into situations like this, rather than having a creative blitz coming after an offense, I think you just have to kind of play pretty traditional coverage and hope you can rally and make a tackle on a 3rd and forever situation.
As mentioned, Louisville has a lot of talented receivers. Throwing down here, going to throw short. That'll be complete to Fitzpatrick. NC State once again ready. Baker Williams with a big hit. And that stops that. A 2-yard gain.
Yeah, this is very similar to a screen pass. You're running a shallow cross, but all the receivers are going down the field to block. It was a Tampa 2 coverage, and you just see the pursuit of the defense. That's a nice job by NC State. We're going to talk about it a couple times tonight about the different players they have playing on that side of the ball. Some guys, have even been playing offense the different parts of this season. But Dave Dorn has them competing, playing hard, and I think they're buying into what he's trying to get them to do.
We talked about that all week, the necessity to buy in, particularly with all the injuries that they're suffering through right now.
ACC Network Primetime Football is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hardy fans in Raleigh. By the way, our best to NC State's Roger Warren, who's been running the stats crew here for 50 years. He's out tonight under the weather. Chose a good night to miss, actually.
I think there are a lot of people that would like to be under the weather, I think, in this weather. It is colder, and if it gets wet tonight, Dave, I think could end up affecting both of these offenses.
Yeah, it's mid-November. It goes with the territory, right? So it'll be 1st down and 10 from the 12-yard line. And Leary and the Wolfpack to begin this drive. It's Bam Knight. Big hole opening up for him. Busting a couple of tackles along the way en route to the 1st down.
Yeah, busting a couple tackles, and you just see the mesh in the backfield with the fake fly sweep. It causes a little bit of hesitation and gets guys out of position. And Bam Knight, who's been a really, really good runner, true freshman, has done a nice job for this NC State offense, is just able to hit it. And so you can see the confusion, and the trouble with some of the run fits that Louisville has had. It's been a problem for them all season.
Finds another hole, trying to cut back to his left, but a nice gain there after picking up 15 on the previous carry. This one goes for 7, stopped by Etheridge. 2nd down and 3. Leary to throw short. Swings that one out, but it's incomplete. Emezi, the intended receiver.
And those are plays that Devin Leary needs to make. You have off coverage, you have a quick out to Emezi, who I think started at the start of the season was really NC State's best wide receiver. You just don't get him the football. I mean, that's an easy throw that's got to be a gimme. It's basically a layup, and if you hit it, you already have a 1st down.
Now you get it to him, he's probably going to catch it. He's caught 43 passes this season. He's been the #1 target all year long. This one aired out on a dart. You can see that arm strength there as he'll pick up the 1st. That was to Devin Carter, the freshman.
Yeah, and you see the arm strength. I mean, he's going to rifle this one out. And, I said it earlier, arm talent is what we heard talking to those coaches. But you see also the accuracy to the right, the inaccuracy to the left. That is a thing for right-handed throwers. It's been a little bit of an issue for Devin Leary.
Away from the pressure. He's going to run with it and step out. We talk about arm strength, and it's like a guy who throws 98 miles an hour. You may not have a great breaking ball. Your command might not be great. But, man, you throw 97, 98 miles an hour. When you have that kind of ability, that breeds confidence.
It does, and I think that's one of the reasons that we got the John Elway comparison from his head coach. And I also believe that, he's much different than the other quarterbacks on their roster in terms of the ability to push the ball down the field.
Knight lost the football, a fumble on the play. Louisville says that they have recovered it. Russ Yeast for the Cardinals. He pounced, and the Cardinals have it.
Well, and Russ Yeast, you said it, he's the guy that comes up and makes the play. As Gigi Robinson is there to hop on it. But Russ Yeast, with the run fit there, right exactly where he needs to be. It looks like that left hand just kind of punches that football out. Russ Yeast, a converted corner, struggled a little bit at times tackling, does an excellent job there. And, for a Louisville defense that has been giving up big plays, they create one of their own and give their offense great field position.
NC State, their 4th first-half turnover in the last 2 games. That was something they were intent on cleaning up this week in practice. They thought they had, But a quick turnover here puts it at the 42-yard line of NC State. Golden position now for Louisville in a 0-0 game in the first quarter. So Cunningham back to operate again. Back inside, still on his feet, and they finally take him down. Stopped by Brock Miller.
And it's a run like that, you just see his ability. I mean, their mesh in terms of the handoff with the running back was a little bit messed up, and you know, as he's running, he just creates something on his own. And you know, for a lot of offenses, that's a negative play. With Mikael Cunningham, you know, it's a 2-yard gain.
2nd and 8. Louisville trying to do something with this turnover, and a handoff for Hawkins, who came in just 22 yards short of 1,000 in his first season. And the rookie has had 5 100-yard rushing games so far this year. It has been a lot of fun to watch. In fact, he's been dynamite with the football, over 180 carries with no fumbles.
He's not a very big guy, but he's a versatile back as we see him split out now. He's a versatile back that runs hard and does have great speed.
3rd and 6. Back to throw over the top, and that's going to be a battle for it, and it is caught by Atwell. He wins the fight for the first down, going up against Tanner Engel, and picks up 19 yards.
You just look at it, it's zero blitz, it's all out blitz as Brock Miller tries to put pressure on the quarterback, but you just see he just puts it up, trusting his wide receiver. And a lot of people say, well, look, that's an underthrown ball. And it is underthrown. You maybe have a touchdown if he puts it all the way out there, but that is better than overthrowing your wide receiver, Dave, and just having it be a long foul ball. Give your guy a chance, and Tutu Atwell goes and fights for it.
On 1st and 10, it's Hawkins off to the left side before he's stacked up. And the tackle made by Baker Williams. Was there a face mask here?
You know, I think it initially looked like it, and that's definitely a grab and a turn of the face mask by Baker Williams. And I think Scott Satterfield was calling for it on the sideline. Surprised the officials missed that one.
Play picked up 2, 2nd and 8. Coming up on 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter at Raleigh. On a frosty night. Hawkins in the backfield with Cunningham. Stepping back, looking to throw short, and it's incomplete. Nearly picked off. He wanted Fitzpatrick. Drake Thomas almost had it.
Yeah, they're running crossers, which are great versus man coverage, but they got zone coverage. And you see Fitzpatrick want to sit down. That's what you do when you run crossing routes in zone coverage, is you sit down kind of over the ghost tight end area. Just a little miscommunication between quarterback and wide receiver about where he should settle it down.
And Thomas, the true freshman, was amazed he didn't make that catch for the interception. 3rd down and 8. And here they come. And they're going to get to him and take him down. No place to run. Moorhead coming fast with the sack.
Well, it's all-out blitz again, which is interesting to get from this NC State team. But basically, they're covering from here, and you just have man across the board. Watch how they time the pressure. I mean, they hit it with a running start, and when you're able to do that, there's no time for the quarterback to even just find a grip on the football to be able to get rid of it. Great timing on the pressure. That's what allowed them to get home.
This will be a 44-yard attempt by Ryan Chalafu. And this one in the air, and that one is no good. So we're still 0-0. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Well, Tim, that is the senior defensive tackle, Laurel Murchison, very key man, 7 sacks. He goes into the 10th.
He's a key man. He's a guy that they really depend on. He's kind of the vocal leader. Here he is here, you know, just rushing the field goal attempt. And it seems like Boone comes down on him. I don't know if he gets him in the hip or what, but he was clearly into some discomfort coming off the football field.
So after the missed field goal, NC State will take over on their 26-yard line. And a handoff to Houston as he gets his first carry. Jordan Houston, the freshman. And he's going to gain 5 yards on his initial carry. So 2nd down and 5. And the freshman quarterback to roll right. And throws very smoothly, and he's going to pick up a 1st down as he targets Houston.
You know, last time that we kind of saw this NC State offense, part of what they did a good job of is these roll 2 boots. You know, so it's a fake, but it's a boot, and it's a throw to the flat to the guy that you just faked to. And with Houston in the lineup, more of a pass receiving running back. It's a good matchup for them.
Throws into the flat. And that one complete to Emezi. He'll pick up 9 yards.
And the pace of NC State, I think, can really help them. You know, part of the deal for Louisville defensively is they've had a hard time getting lined up. Motions have bothered them. A lot of assignment mistakes on the defensive side of the ball. And so moving at a quick tempo could really help this NC State offense.
Wolfpack has not had a single senior starter on offense the last 2 games. They have had to rely almost completely on youth. And diving right through the center of the line once again, it's Houston. They're getting him active right away. Stopped by Troutman after a 3-yard pickup, and that will move the sticks.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to make easy reads for the quarterback. That one a zone read, so reads in the run game just like you have reads in the passing game. Read one defender. If he doesn't close quite fast enough, give it to your back, let him fall forward for a 1st down.
Final seconds of the 1st quarter. Houston getting a lot of action here at the end of the 1st. On a play action. Leary, pressure on him as he threw that one incomplete. And he got hit by Johnson, who was all over him.
This is a touchdown if they're able to block it. They're going to fake it to Houston, and he's going to come up the sideline here, and he's going to be wide open. If they have time to get this off, as you see the backside, you know, of the coverage kind of roll to the middle of the field, but Anthony Johnson just there too quickly. But if he has time to get that football off, there is nobody covering Houston, and it probably ends up being a walk-in touchdown.
12 seconds to go in the 1st. 2nd down 10. Leary from the gun. Throwing short again. And Messi on a completion and shoved out of bounds by Anthony Johnson. Up before a pickup of 7.
By my count, I think we've seen 5 of these quick outs already. We've seen a couple to the right. We've seen a few to the left now. Would not surprise me if at some point we get a double move on that after throwing so many of these in front of the DBs.
You know, they talked about the youngster's confidence, and he is showing that. He certainly has in the 1st quarter, but scoreless after 1 in Raleigh. Welcome back to ACC Network Primetime Football, presented by Geico. And on a Saturday night after 1 quarter, Louisville nothing, NC State nothing. We're being told that Darrell Murchison will not return because of a knee injury in the 1st half, and they can ill afford that. And an interception on the play, and this one picked off by Etheridge. Avery with the tip.
It's a shovel pass, and I have no idea what Devin Leary is doing. I think he's trying to sell the shovel pass, trying to extend it, but you still have to find your back, and I don't know if he gets confused thinking that Joe Sculthorpe, his left guard, is his back, but it almost looks like he tries to throw it to him without looking. The ball gets tipped and intercepted. I mean, it's just kind of a, you know, almost a careless decision with the football. You just can't do that. It's a shovel pass. The reason you call a shovel pass, it's a high percentage throw. It's one guy in front of you who doesn't catch it. It's incomplete. I think he got confused with the left guard who was pulling.
So the turnover, and the pass will be incomplete by Cunningham. That was tipped by Keyshawn Miller. Tough to get a clean pass on either side here. 2nd down and 10. I don't know about you. I expected at least some points in the 1st quarter with these 2 teams.
With this offense and as banged up as NC State has been on defense, I would agree with you. I think one of the things NC State has decided to do while they're they've pared their defensive plan down because they've got so many backups playing because of injury and guys playing out of position. Murchison's now out for the rest of the half. They've still been aggressive. We saw all-out blitz twice on the last drive, and in a 3rd and 5 situation here, I wouldn't expect it, but they clearly have not been afraid to play some man coverage and challenge these fast wide receivers for Louisville.
Just some of the guys who were banged up for NC State. On a run, cutting back inside. Hawkins, and stopped by Jackson. And Cunningham, gain of 8.
And Dave, we did the game where we saw Evan Conley come in and play great, but Cunningham comes back and he's their starting quarterback. And I think it's plays like that of why he still has the job. He's an elite runner. You can run the option on a 3rd and 5 play, and your quarterback can take off and make a play like he did there.
To pick up the 1st down. That's Atwell. He evades one man, trying to get back inside before he is down. Stopped by Brock Miller. And he is going to lose 2 yards on that carry.
And that was another one of those situations where it was all-out blitz. And I think that's what Dave Huxtable, the defensive coordinator for NC State, is going to do. He's going to pick his spots where he brings all-out pressure. And because he did, that's what caused the penetration, which spun Atwell around and created a negative play for the Louisville offense.
2nd and 12. Cunningham to throw short into the flat, and that'll be complete. So he gets Atwell on a short gain that picks up just 1 yard. And 3rd and 9 coming up.
Yeah, and I think this could be another one of those situations where, an all-out blitz is on the table. It's kind of been what he's been doing, Dave Huxtable, that is, in some of these 3rd down situations to get to the quarterback and to have bodies around the QB.
A key call early here for Louisville. 3rd and 9. Hawkins out to the right side, a flag down. The clock was winding down.
Full start. Number 74, offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And that's Adonis Boone, the left tackle, replacing Mekhi Becton, who's a really, really nice NFL prospect. And Boone did a nice job coming in against Miami, that's got a team that's got very good pass rushers, but that was another one of those situations, Dave, where they were bringing pressure and he just flinched. Now you get a 3rd and really long situation, and I think NC State now can play coverage.
Yeah, for Louisville, back to the big loss up front. He had started 22 consecutive games, had an ankle injury in the 1st quarter, went down last week against Miami. 3rd down 14. Cunningham stepping up, going long, has a receiver, and that'll be caught. Fitzpatrick into the end zone, a 43-yard touchdown catch. And the Cardinals strike first tonight, finally. In the opening minutes of the 2nd quarter, they are on the board, and Fitzpatrick finds the end zone.
Well, he finds the end zone because they're going to put some stress on this safety right here. They're basically running all go, okay? But what they're going to do is they're going to put that safety who's circled in a bind. As he squeezes tight to Atwell, then you see Cunningham just go outside to Fitzpatrick, and that is really, really well done by the quarterback.
And the extra point is good by Chalafu. So Louisville out in front, 7-0.
And it's because Mikael Cunningham doing a great job inside the pocket, reading the coverage, pushing the ball down the field to Des Fitzpatrick for another Louisville score.
Big plays for Louisville, and another one. Tack on to this. 22 plays of at least 40 yards this season. Moments ago, a 43-yard touchdown pass, Cunningham to Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, and that's an outstanding number of big plays out of this offense. We know they have speed at wide receiver, but you need a quarterback that can deliver, and Mikael Cunningham did there. Really, it's why they are so hard to defend, and I think that Scott Satterfield does a nice job of dialing it up when he needs to.
Ball falling off the tee. 11:54 to go here in the 1st half. We expected the wind to play a role tonight, maybe not necessarily in this manner. But it is a gusty, uncomfortable night with a little bit of rain to boot. But Louisville on top, a 7-zip here in Raleigh. So Turner to kick, Hossein back to receive. And very, very short, as that one will take a hop, and a flag down there as out it goes. Now the coaches for Louisville, let's put it this way, they have as much passion as anyone you've ever seen.
It's like they're getting ready to actually play themselves, and the truth is, I think the players love it. You know, we've seen them do this a couple times, and you know, they've had coaches break hands doing this. We've seen bloody noses, and you know, Scott Satterfield was like, hey guys, you realize you don't have to do that, right? Like,
Yeah.
we do think our players are going to be ready even if you don't hit them. But I do think they respond to it, and I think it also is an element of coaches remembering what it was like as a player.
Yeah. There's still a lot of kid in those coaches. And for Houston, trying to bust that one, does bust a tackle, gets across the 50-yard line. Eventually Etheridge to stop him, not before 16-yard pickup.
Yeah, and it was really well blocked to the left here, as you see, and then when he gets into the open field, good strength there. Break a tackle and fall forward, and you know, with the fumble by Knight, who's now back in the game, we've seen a little bit more of Houston.
1st and 10. Leary to chuck it, throwing long, but he overthrows his receiver. Imezi intended for him. Emeka, both of his parents from Nigeria. And now a junior, and he's been the top target all season long. 2nd down and 10. So Leary 6 for 13 with the interception on the shovel pass. He's got Bam Knight in the backfield. And will hand to Bam. He finds Osim. He's still up. Still on his feet. Right to a tackler. Finally down. A magnificent run. Marlon Character stopping him, but he's grabbing at that left knee as he hobbles out. 23-yard gain.
He's grabbing at that left knee that has a brace on it, but this is an outstanding run. I mean, are you kidding me? This is a great job putting that hand on the ground and keeping his balance, running with power, run after contact, and you know, they've said he's probably the most complete back that they've had here under Dave Dorn, and they've had some pretty good runners here at NC State.
Well, that was an electrifying run. 1st and 10. Ricky Person in at the running back, but he's going to throw that, and too strong. Intended for the tight end, Angeline. And another man heading for the medical tent for NC State. There's been a parade of them for weeks.
Yeah, and it can be demoralizing to your football team, and Dave Dorn has basically said that, you know, he's had to kind of just, you know, put his arm around some guys and kind of talk them through some of the adversity that they've been dealing with, and that's the last thing they need, is really their best runner out of the game.
We'll see for how long, but he heads for the tent. 2nd down and 10. Ricky Person now running back, the sophomore at 6'2", about 220. Clock is down to 2. They finally get the play off. Person trying to run it off to the right, but no room there. So that'll bring up 3rd down for the Wolfpack. Whitlaw with the tackle. Now Murchison is back on the bike in any event. That was a knee that got him in the 1st quarter, and they said he would not return in the 1st half. That doesn't mean he won't play.
But it's good to see him up and moving, and NC State defensively had been rotating a bunch of defensive linemen. It would be good for them to have him back.
3rd and 11. In the pocket to throw, short, and that one complete. Houston trying to bounce outside. He's going to pick up a 1st down. That picks up 15 yards.
It's a really cool play design. It's an angle screen. You're basically going to have an angle, and the offensive linemen are going to release out to block. It's a really good job, good play design. You see the movement of the linebacker. That helps the offensive line get an angle, and you know, rather than a traditional screen, a nice easy way for your quarterback to get a completion into the hands of a running back going up the field.
Down to the 12-yard line. Houston with a carry. Stopped by C.J. Avery. He picks up just a couple of yards. Wolfpack behind their freshman quarterback, trying to get on the scoreboard here with 9:15 to go in the second. So far for Dorn and company, a 7-play drive. 2nd and 8. Hand off for Houston. Slipped a little bit, but got inside the 10-yard line before Etheridge tied him up. That's a gain of just 1 yard. So, Tim, 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, and I think here, you know, you don't want your quarterback to make a mistake. I mean, we've seen him throw a shovel pass that was intercepted. And so, yeah, you want to be aggressive. I think you're hoping for man coverage, maybe a fade ball for your quarterback, rather than having to have him read something out, maybe throw an interception.
He does have Imezi far left. Looking right, he'll keep it, trying to tuck it, and he gets knocked back. Nothing there. Goldwire made sure of that.
Look, I think that's a play call when you maybe don't trust your quarterback to read it out and make a decision. And so you go with you spread them out, you go with the quarterback draw. Leary is a good runner. We've seen him run for a couple first downs tonight, but ultimately I think, you know, based on how some of the things have gone and how he's been slow to process at times, they went with the safe play call on the quarterback draw.
This will be a 28-yard attempt by Christopher Dunn, a finalist for the Place Kicker of the Year award, leading the ACC an average of 2 field goals per game. And this one is perfect. That gets the Wolfpack up on the board. It is 7-3 Louisville.
ACC Network Primetime Football is brought to you by Food Lion, the official grocer of the ACC.
Louisville on top here, 7-3 around the ACC this week. North Carolina falling again, 34-27, again an overtime defeat. Pickett was outstanding.
He was outstanding, and I think North Carolina only plays close games, but when Kenny Pickett plays well for Pittsburgh, they have a chance. And Clemson obviously rolled against Wake Forest, couldn't get going. And how about Georgia Tech, Dave? I mean, doing a really good job kind of rebounding out of a Virginia Tech after a slow start. And they've done a nice job under Justin Fuentes kind of rallying. And that Pitt-Virginia Tech matchup a week from today should be a pretty big one.
Yes. So this one was 7:41 to go in the second. Hassan Hall will be taken down to bring up 1st and 10. NC State after the field goal on the scoreboard. Louisville coming in at 5-4, 3-3 in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Falling last week 52-27. That was a week after a very big win over Virginia. Had a lot of things to clean up, lots of penalties, 3 turnovers in that defeat. Cunningham with the handoff here to Hall. He is stacked up. Stopped by Baker Williams. Let's get down to Katie.
Well, at Louisville, Sundays are for accountability. Scott Satterfield says after practice, the entire offense will do up-downs for every penalty, sack, missed assignment, and loaf. So we'll have the offense circle up, and then he'll bring the starters to the center. From there, each starter is called out one by one. Mekhi Becton, 4 MAs, 1 sack, 0 loafs. The group will then do 5 up-downs for Becton. This past season, the group did 59 up-downs on Sunday after that Miami game, you guys. That's the second most they've done all season. Offensive linemen, as you could imagine, hate it. But Satterfield says this team has to learn accountability, and that comes from within. For measure, Satterfield says 25-30 represents a winning performance by the starters, not 59.
All right, Katie, thank you very much. Hey, Kraft got an early start there. That'll bring up 2nd and 13.
We'll also bring up a few up-downs on Sunday is what it'll do with the accountability of being in front of the group. And, you know, I think it's a good idea. Unfortunately for Louisville, I don't think that it's solved, you know, their penalty and loaf and misassignment issues. But I do think it's a good idea.
Cunningham pressure, down he goes. He takes the sack, courtesy of Drake Thomas, who's coming like a freight train, and planted him. They lose 9 yards on that one.
Yeah, and they bring a pressure. North Carolina State brings a pressure. You see, there's a little bit of miscommunication up front. And really, I think it's Hall. Hall goes to block the guy that's covering him in man-to-man coverage rather than picking up Thomas. And I don't know how Mikael Cunningham held on to that football.
Thomas, who earlier nearly had an interception, was angry at himself, very upset he didn't make that play, just come up with a big play on the sack to bring up 3rd down and 22. Cunningham trying to keep that and bounce outside. He takes a pretty good knock as he goes out of bounds. Stopped by Harris. That's going to gain 8 yards back. And a flag is down. That was a late flag. 5:50 to go here in the second quarter. Yeah, an awfully late flag, well after the play.
After the play was over. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 3, offense. His first of the game. Half the distance to the goal. The down counts. 4th down.
And of course on the quarterback, Cunningham.
Yeah, there's some jawing after the play as he gets tackled, you know, out of bounds and then throws the football to a player on NC State's sideline. That's obviously a penalty. And, you know, when you just think about the situation of this game now, and now you've backed the football back inside your own 10-yard line, that's not a mistake. You know, we're talking about up downs and accountability for penalties and things like that. That's inexcusable, and it puts your team in a really tough spot to be punting from your own end.
Yeah, Mason King to punt there. Thomas standing back there at around the 46-yard line. He is the leading ACC punt returner at about 15 yards each from a walk-on. He shanks this one, and just an awful punt. So tremendous field position here. That goes only 17 yards.
Mistakes by Louisville giving NC State great field position, an opportunity to capitalize.
I'll tell you what, honey, I'll bring the kids to the game, and we'll have a great time, believe me. I know they're going to have a wonderful time. We'll start off with some cotton candy, and we'll go from there. As you said, I think he wants to stay warm.
Listen,
anyway.
he wants to stay warm. He's like, all right, boys, you know what? You can do that as long as you stay close. Keep me warm.
Keep Pop warm.
That's good. Good fun.
1st and 10. They're looking to throw, and that one batted down by Etheridge. We've had a number of those already tonight. Bring up 2nd down and 10.
And I think part of the reason you have that, Dave, is that I think Devin Leary needs to speed his process up some. I mean, sometimes it's so slow, and a lot of times everything is in his lap. Now, the offensive line can attack more. The backs can attack their pass protection more. When you're sitting back and catching, it doesn't help your quarterback, but your quarterback can help by playing a little faster.
I remember Bam Knight was shaken up earlier. Ricky Person now running back. They've shuffled in 4 or 5 different guys into the flat. Mezzi with the completion, and he'll pick up 3 yards on that pass. So 3rd down 7, 5 minutes to go before halftime. Louisville with the 7-3 lead in Raleigh. Leary trying to get the Wolfpack into the end zone on the flag down.
Offside. Entering the neutral zone, causing an offensive player to react. Number 49. Defense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's the senior, Boozy Whitlow from Alabama.
It's another nice job by Devin Leary. Now, just a more manageable 3rd down. It's amazing how much a snap count not only just helps the quarterback, but helps the guys up front.
3rd and short. On the 19-yard line. And on a handoff right up the middle, it's Person to pick up the first. So a person getting involved. Houston's had a bunch of carries early. Bam Knight did before he went down. And first down here for the Pack.
Timeout, NC State. Their first of the half.
NC State taking number 1 to talk it over.
ESPN, home of the New Year's Six and the college football playoff.
Well, the Wolfpack in great shape here, Tim, on a 15, 1st and 10.
It's great field position. Last time down here, they didn't really trust their quarterback. I think staying on schedule could really help them and kind of leave the playbook open for them for opportunities if they can get it even tighter.
We'll see what Devin Leary comes up with here. Redshirt freshman on first down. Looking to throw over the middle for the end zone, and a touchdown caught by Emezi. A 15-yard strike to Emeka Emezi. His second touchdown reception of the season.
And this is important, I think, to get Devin Leary going, get Emezi going. Good throw and catch, simple read. I think that's what they need to do offensively. And nice turn of events for this NC State football team. Get a backed up team, you get bad punt, good field position, then you go ahead and capitalize on it.
So done for the extra point. And that is good. So the Wolfpack punch it in from close range to make it 10-7. First touchdown of the ball game for the Wolfpack on their home field. They have jumped in front 10-7.
Yeah, and really benefited by a penalty on Mikhail Cunningham, and then a 17-yard punt gave them great field position. And then they cap it off by doing something you see a lot of people do. Hard play action down in the red zone. Get safeties to come up and commit. Makes it an easy read for the quarterback. Emezi does a nice job of getting inside, and I think it's exactly what Dave Doran is looking for from his young quarterback.
So the Cardinals have a little over 4 minutes to answer before halftime, trailing by 3. That one will be driven out of the end zone. So 4:01 to go in the half.
You're going to have a little bit of play action. It's going to get these linebacker levels to step up, and you're just getting in a skinny post behind it to Emeka Emezi. You see the influence on the linebacker level players. That's a lot of room to complete the pass to Emezi. Look at the way Emezi attacks the defender coming off the football. That's a really nice route. It would be big for NC State if they can get him going. He's a really talented receiver, much like the guys they had here, a year ago, in Harmon and Jacoby Myers, guys like that. Emezi, much like them, big physical receiver.
Cunningham to roll, now cut inside, made one man miss, but nothing there at all. McNeil giving chase, and that loses 1 yard. Good pressure again from Drake Thomas, who's really having a fine ball game. It's like another grab of the face mask there that they got away with.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of those that surprised weren't called tonight.
Second down 11. Adwell in motion. And off for Hawkins. He's going to bust it down the left side. Tried to stay in. Finally shoved out into the bench. He's going to gain 23 yards on that carry. Shoved out by Miller.
Really good job of the guys up front for Louisville to get Hawkins to the second level, and then you just see his speed. And you think about that, they're doing that behind Adonis Boone, who's a replacement left tackle for Mekhi Becton. You can tell they have some trust in him. Running right behind him.
Hawkins, by the way, has gone over 1,000 yards. Cunningham short, and it's going to be complete on a fine catch by Fitzpatrick on a low delivery to gain 7.
And I wasn't sure he caught it, and doesn't
Yeah,
look like he did that one. Skipped.
Get the play off, but now it will be dead. And they're going to take a look.
And I'm not sure they stopped it before they got the play off.
Prior to the snap, the crew was buzzed about the replay. The ruling on the previous play of a completed catch is under further review.
Tell you what, Scott Satterfield was not happy because he felt like they got that ball snapped. I mean, the play's running, it clearly bounces, and when we see it, you know, that ball is incomplete, and so they should look at it. But Louisville did a nice job of hustling to the line.
Sure did.
Snapping the football, and I think they should have been able to run the play because the officials didn't blow the whistle until Cunningham was to the top of his drop.
I agree with you. But they are going to take a look at it. There's no question it was incomplete. Although ruled complete on the field. A little more than 2.5 minutes to go. This play under review here in the first half. 10-7 NC State. And what should not take very long. Very, very big game for both sides for NC State. Well, they have dropped 3 consecutive games, 4 out of 5. For Louisville, the victory is number 6 and makes them bowl eligible. And some job done by Coach Satterfield his first year at Louisville. Cardinals missed a bowl last year for the first time since 2009. So a win makes them eligible again.
You said he's done a nice job with this quick turnaround, and we've had the opportunity to spend some time with him, and I get the sense, Dave.
After further review, the ball hit the ground. The pass is incomplete. It will be second down at the -47-yard line. The clock should be set to 2 minutes, 52 seconds. 2:52, and we'll start on the snap.
It's the right call, but to get back and finish up on Satterfield, I feel like these coaches that he's assembled here at Louisville, they get along with each other. They enjoy working with each other, and I think the players have felt it, and I think the players feel like these coaches enjoy being around these players, and that's a big change from what they had previously experienced, and I think it's showing on the field.
It's a very tight-knit group. And 6 coaches who worked for Satterfield at Appalachian State came with him to Louisville. Cunningham throwing, and that one is complete right around the 40-yard line. Complete to Fitzpatrick to gain the first down. That's a 13-yard pickup.
Really nice route by Fitzpatrick. Watch this stem to the middle of the field. See that gets the defensive back to open up, and then it's an outbreaking route. And so you see the timing too. Because of that little stem inside, it's an indicator to the quarterback of when you were going to come out of your break. Nice route, helps the quarterback, good accurate throw.
1st and 10. Cunningham loses it off his fingertips. Went back to dive on top of it at the 50-yard line.
And there's nothing wrong with that snap. It's a perfect snap. I think he just takes his eyes off of it too soon as he's getting ready to have the football. You see his eyes, his head starts to turn to the left. And, you know, when you're a quarterback catching a shotgun snap, it's no different than being a receiver. You got to see it in, but you're also trying to see everything else around you. Tough mistake there.
And they lose 9 yards on it, 2nd and 19. Under 2 minutes before halftime. Cunningham from the shotgun. He'll look to throw again. Plenty of time. He's going to run it to his right. And down he goes. Out of bounds. Chased by Thomas. He will pick up 3 yards. But the clock running. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, and Thomas is there. I'm not sure why he decided to slide in bounds. Especially as you're kind of in a 2-minute situation trying to score, but did that, basically put a hit on himself and kept the clock running.
3rd and 16. 1 minute left in the half. A tight, low-scoring first half here in Raleigh. He slips a bit, now trying to scamper, losing ground. And he'll throw that one incomplete. Good pressure again, this time by Isaiah Moore. One of the linebackers giving chase.
And it was good pressure by Moore, and it was a good disguise in the secondary by NC State. They rotate the coverage, kind of showed a one high look, go to two high safeties, had some guys running out underneath coverage, and with the pressure of Moore, forces Cunningham to throw the football away. And I've really been impressed by this job that NC State has done defensively with so many backups playing. They're putting up a really good fight.
They lost another really key guy in the tackle, Darrell Murchison, early in the game. They hope to have him back in the second half. Can't recover this one before it gets into the end zone. 37 seconds left here in the first half. I mean, NC State had 3 walk-on linebackers in the game at the end of the Clemson defeat last week. And they were already without Isaiah Moore and Luis Jesus. They had 26 freshmen see action in that game, not because they wanted to.
No, and I think there are some players that they feel like they maybe are burning red shirts on. They had a play where they had 3 guys down. Like, I don't know if you have enough training staff to go attend to them all. But I think Dave Doran has put on, basically been a good example to his football team about, not flinching in these situations, and it's showing with the way his team is playing tonight.
Bam Knight getting back in the game. It's a very good sign for the Wolfpack. Stopped by Burns and Goldwire. He picked up 4 yards on that carry. Final seconds of the half. 2nd down and 6.
And NC State's going to be happy to take the lead into halftime, and I think it's the right decision with a young quarterback backed up.
So that will do it. The end of the first half. On a cold and windy night, NC State has a 10-7 lead on Louisville. We are at halftime. The Cardinals to receive the second half kickoff. Let's get out to Katie with Coach Doran.
Thanks, OB. Dave, ball security was a focal point coming in this game. 2 early turnovers, but what did you think of your team's ability to respond?
Our defense is battling. We got to take care of the football. We're moving the ball. We're running the ball well. It's a tough night to throw. We got to finish every single drive with a kick. I mean, we can't do that anymore. I think our defense is really playing hard. We just can't let them have big plays and come back out and play our butts off.
Your defense is bringing a lot of pressure, which is disrupting their offense. What needs to continue on that side?
We're going to keep blitzing. We're going to keep bringing it. We got to get after their quarterback, not give them time to throw. They got good receivers.
Thanks for the time.
All right, go Pack.
Katie, thank you very much. So we are at the break. A little lower scoring than maybe we anticipated, but a fun first half. And right after the short break, Jack Collinsworth and the gang will join you for the ACC Network halftime report.
All right, welcome to the halftime report. 10-7 NC State over Louisville. You know the coach, Mark Rick.
I'm back.
Eric McLean, EJ Manuel, I'm Jack Collinsworth. So NC State's defense, maybe the story of the first half, what impressed you most?
Yeah, really just coming from everywhere. I think we all were sitting here just kind of shocked. They had a 0 coverage one time. They had a bare front, got 2 guys free. And really, when you can bring that pressure and hit home like that, that should set the tone for the rest of the game. You heard Coach say it right there at the end. Say, we got to keep blitzing. We have to keep this guy under wraps. Mikhail has not been able to run free. He has negative yards right now, so that's tough.
Yeah, well, when you bring a 0 blitz like that, you're playing man-to-man behind it. So hopefully Louisville offense can figure out a way to hit a slant or to hit a hitch to get that ball out to those receivers. Because if they make one guy miss, it's to the house.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in Mikhail right now. I know he's completed 8 of 13, which is decent, but he just doesn't seem like he's sharp throwing the ball. A lot of the completions, even the touchdown pass, the receiver had to kind of slow down to get it, and he was so wide open, it was still a touchdown. And he has not been able to take off and run like we like to. And the one time he did, he let himself get blown up again. I mean, he's got to learn to get out of bounds or throw the ball out of bounds as you're scrambling, because if he gets hit hard again, he's not going to be playing.
Yeah.
How about Odell locking arms with the boys?
Odell's the best.
Fordale, baby, Fordale.
In the first half, we'll take a look. This is the only score of the day for Louisville. Cunningham gets it to Fitzpatrick right here. Dez Fitzpatrick. It is 10-7. We'll come back, break down the second half right after this. So what ends up deciding the second half of this game, do you feel like? Start with you here, Coach.
I think right now Louisville has got to do a better job of picking up the pressures. They either have to communicate well between the line and the back to where he can get his hat on the right person, or if they're bringing more than they can block, they got to get the ball out. They got to have a plan to get it out. And right now they look like they just don't have a plan.
Yeah.
For me, it's the exact opposite. I think NC State has to keep bringing it. They have to figure out a way to keep the matchup overloaded on one side, bring that pressure. Do not let McHale get comfortable back there. So he's going to pick you apart. And it's not, I mean, this offense isn't that high-powered for NC State. They've got to keep it close.
Well, if you guys remember, Louisville gets started by big plays. So I'm looking forward to seeing if Tutu Atwell, some of those dynamic, Fitzpatrick, those guys can get a spark going for that offense to get them rolling.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. NC State's still looking for that next quarterback. This may be him. Let's see. This is one of his best highlights from the first half. As you take a look at Devin Leary finding a Mezzi. It is 10-7. NC State on top. Football is headed your way right after this.
Welcome to the weekend, welcome to the party, welcome to the light at the end of a hard week. Fire it on up, burn it on down, lay it on back and pass it back around. Talking about football, talking about game day, talking about good friends sitting on tailgates, talking about shots all around, y'all. Come on in, where you been? Welcome to the weekend.
Welcome back to ACC Network Primetime Football presented by Geico. Here in Raleigh, low scoring and tight. Second half to come. NC State up by 3. Third quarter just moments away here. Dave O'Brien along with Tim Hasselbeck. NC State's got to be very, very happy.
Oh, Dave Doran has to be thrilled because after 2 brutal turnovers, the one thing Dave Doran said his team could not afford to do, his defense has created so much pressure and really kept them in this football game, and it's because they've decided to blitz McHale Cunningham. They've done a great job of timing up pressures and getting home, and that's really kept that Louisville offense at bay. And so I think he needs to be thrilled with the effort on the defensive side of the ball, because I think that was probably the biggest question mark for him coming into the game.
Right. Well, the Wolfpack really flipped it, too. First half, in the first quarter, they didn't have anything going on. Total of 48 yards on offense, no points. Second quarter, 127 yards in offense, 95 of those on the ground, and of course the 10 points to grab the lead. So underway here in the second half. Katie, moments ago with Coach Satterfield.
Scott, we've seen some penalties, some missed assignments, even some sacks. What does your team need to do to start playing cleaner in this next half?
Yeah, I mean, we got to just play within ourselves. I think, too many self-inflicted wounds in the first half. Defense did a good job of creating a couple of turnovers there. We had a bad punt that got pushed back right there. But just self-inflicted penalties, and, we got to play a lot cleaner football, and then we'll go win this game.
They're blitzing McHale left and right. How do you combat that moving forward?
We got to win some one-on-one matchups. We got to get the ball out of our hands a lot quicker. We got to shore up the protection. A couple busts by our running backs there.
Thanks for the time.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, indeed, they got to Cunningham a couple of times. Louisville will begin the second half with the football on the handoff and stacked up there on the right side. No place to go. So just getting started here in the third quarter. That play goes for -2 on the carry by Hawkins. Very good sign here for the Wolfpack. Arrell Murchison is back, the big tackle.
And it's one of the reasons you saw a negative play by this Louisville offense, and that's really what's plagued Louisville, on the season. They're a big play offense. We've seen that already tonight. But they have so many negative plays, and you get behind the down and distance here, 2nd and 12, it just makes it hard.
Second and long. Hawkins trying to get outside. No place to go there. Smith Williams to tie him up.
And that was great effort by Smith Williams. I mean, we've seen Hawkins' speed, and Smith Williams, just does a great job of continuing to fight, string it out, and make the play.
Tough guy, 6'3", 265, to the senior, and he's a vital run stopper for them. 3rd down 9. Cunningham looking to his sideline. He's got Hawkins with him in the backfield. And he'll look to throw. Right down the middle, and he connects with Atwell. Atwell darting outside. He's heading for the end zone. He's going to go all the way. 74 yards for the touchdown.
It's a great job of pass protection by Louisville offensively. And that allows them to pick up the blitz. Cunningham to stay inside the pocket. And then we talked about it at the top, Dave, the speed that Louisville has with Atwell and Fitzpatrick. It can beat you. It can beat you quickly. And there's a great play by Tutu Atwell and a great play by Mikhail Cunningham.
Beat you long, too. He scored last week on an 80-yard touchdown pass. And this one going for 74. The point is good.
Yeah, and you see what Cunningham's looking at. It gets a corner pressure. It's picked up, hangs in there, allows Tutu Atwell to use his speed, and then off to the races for the speedy wide receiver.
Well, the Cardinals flying into the lead here, 14-10, and a big strike. Tutu Atwell going into the end zone, 74 yards. He has 5 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. It's his 5th 100-yard game this season and his 3rd in a row. What a weapon he is.
He's a big-time weapon. They try to get him the ball in a bunch of different ways, and certainly plays down the field like we just saw, fly sweeps, things of that nature. Just so quick and elusive. You can see why he's had such a productive season.
5 plays for him this season already of more than 50 yards. You have to find him. Hussein will take it out. Across the 25. Open up for a moment before he takes a knock. We take a look at our New York Life Drive recap.
Well, you live by the blitz, you die by the blitz, and NC State is going to bring a pressure here, and what's going to happen is when you bring that pressure, Engel and Moorhead have to come over, but Moorhead overruns it, which allows Atwell to get inside, and Brock Miller is trying to run with Atwell underneath, and it's just way too much speed by Tutu Atwell, who, the more I watch him, starts to look more and more like Deshaun Jackson of the Philadelphia Eagles, and even if it was flag football, Dave, Brock Miller is not getting Tutu down.
No. Went for the flag. So we'll see now if NC State can answer. The ball is loose on the deck. Well, Louisville says that they have recovered. We shall see. And indeed, they have the football. Louisville recovers on the fumble.
And I believe it's Russ Yeast again, caused the fumble earlier. Zonovan Knight, and you see that, just fights off the block. Just makes a tackle there, and that's poor ball security, and a really fortunate break for Louisville with great field position here. Got to continue a good start to the second half.
Russ Yeast having a big night. The 5'11" junior, strong safety. Wolfpack with another turnover. So from the 40, it'll be 1st and 10. Now the carry on the left side, it's Hawkins. Stopped by Engel. And that loses 2 yards. Early minutes of the second half here in Raleigh. And Neville off to a very quick start. And a chance to add on to their 14-10 advantage. But 2nd down and 12. Cunningham off play action, throwing long, and it'll be caught into the end zone. Touchdown. Marshawn Ford, the fullback. What a call that was.
Great call. Marshawn Ford, not only the fullback, the former walk-on fullback, and this is a perfect throw to Ford by Mikhail Cunningham as he's running the wheel route on Brock Miller.
Did he stay in?
Ruling on the previous play of a completed catch and a touchdown is under further review.
And to me, it looks like you still see a little bit of green inside that. It's his left foot right there, and I think you're still seeing some grass.
I agree.
Between that cleat and the sideline.
I think he's all right.
And what a perfect throw.
Wow.
By Mikhail Cunningham.
Occasionally, Tim, they will throw it on. That's the 12th time this season. But this play goes for 42 yards.
Yeah, and he's, I mentioned it. He's a scholarship player now, but was a walk-on that plays hard, got the attention of Satterfield, and basically he said, you know what, this guy's been too good. We got
After
off him
further
scholarship.
review, the ruling on the field stands.
So a touchdown. Boy, Louisville coming out of the gate in this second half on fire.
Yeah, you mentioned it being a great play call, and it really was. You know, you had a negative play on first down, and then you have a play action where you're faking the fly sweep, and you're faking, a handoff off of that, and then an easy read for your quarterback, and he throws an absolute dime.
Chalafu on for the point after. And that one clangs off the upright, off the left one. We mentioned the starting kicker, Blanton Creaky, was lost for the season October 26th.
Well, look at Louisville continue the hot start to the second half. Great throw by Mikhail Cunningham as Marshawn Ford able to bring it into the end zone.
It's bow time! Chicken tip!
ACC Network Primetime Football is brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time.
It is bow time. And for Cardinals of Louisville, go time. Tim, 2.5 minutes, 13 points.
Yeah, and you think about Devin Leary, he hasn't thrown a pass. He goes into halftime up 10-7. He has one play where he hits the football off, and now he's down 20-10. So, yeah, quick strike. We know that this Louisville offense can do that, and I think they got Satterfield's message at halftime.
Loud and clear. And they have come out with a renewed energy and really stuck it to the Wolfpack. See if they respond here. Engel to take the short kick across the 30-yard line and the 35. It has been cold and windy really all day, and this is you before the game with Coach Satterfield.
And I think I was complaining to him about the temperature. I was saying, see, the booth is really cold up there. Let me tell you, the wind is driving it. He was feeling my pain a little bit.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was. He really was. I mean, look at him. He now has a jacket on. When pregame, he was just wearing a sweatshirt.
Somehow,
he knows
I think
exactly what I'm talking about.
He had more to think about than whether you were comfortable in the booth.
I don't
just
know.
a little
I think he's
bit.
still bothered by it.
So NC State to take over 1st and 10 to see if they can get back into the end zone, but not much on that side on the run, which will gain 1 yard by Houston.
And, I think when you look at Devin Leary's first 2 starts, he was kind of thrown into these known passing situations against Wake Forest and Clemson, and he didn't play well in those situations. And I think now he's kind of thrown back into that if they can't come away with points on this drive.
First freshman here at NC State to start a quarterback since Russell Wilson. He lost the handle on it. He dives on it. It just rolled right out of his hand on the pass attempt.
And that's something we saw last week. We saw this same exact thing happen against Clemson last week, where he goes to throw and the ball just comes out of his hands. And, I don't know if he's grips the football differently, but it is not wet out. It's a little cold, but he played high school football in New Jersey. Should not be an issue.
Did that ever happen to you?
I mean, not as often as we've seen it happen to him. I mean,
Yeah, that loses 12. 3rd down and 21. In the pocket to throw. Now he's going to move it, throw on the run for that sideline, but overthrown, intended for Thomas. There, Thomas, very reliable receiver. Been really, really quiet tonight. They've done an excellent job on him. So here comes the punting unit. 11 minutes to go here in the 3rd. And Louisville very quickly grabbing big-time momentum here in the second half.
I mean, huge momentum. And I almost wonder if you're Dave Dorn, if you think about a move at quarterback.
Burns backing up inside the 15-yard line to bring this out. Room to operate straight up the gut. He takes a pretty good knock. There is a flag down back around the 27-yard line. A 20-10 lead for the Cardinals. 10:50 to go in the third. It would be a 59-yard punt, 22-yard return. And we'll check the call. Did not pick up the microphone there. And he made the offside signal. And over to talk with Dave Dorn about this. Second half has started very poorly for the Wolfpack.
Offside. Return team. Penalties decline. First down.
And I think the conversation was there. I think reading Dave Dorn's, mouth as he was talking, he said, I don't want to repunt it. So that's why, declining the penalty is pretty good field position here for Louisville.
Yeah. At the 35. A short toss, and that is going to be complete to Ford, who's already had a major moment in this one on a long touchdown reception. That'll gain 2 yards. Look at Cunningham's numbers.
I mean, he's been perfect in the second half here, and it's a good start. He's doing a nice job of dialing up some plays to give him an opportunity down the field, but 2 very good throws by Cunningham.
2nd and 7. Hawkins dancing inside. And a powerful run. Well, he's had 6 runs of over 30 yards this season.
Yeah, powerful and quick. Look at this. McNeil is unblocked. I mean, that's a little stutter step, a juke. I mean, it's Barry Sanders-esque of, kind of just finding your way through there. Now, it's the advantage of being, 190 pounds versus 315 pounds, but how about the shiftiness from Hawkins?
Now close to the first down, 1 more yard to get it. And they go straight on to try to pick up the first down on the carry by Cunningham. And they will move the sticks. We take a look at tonight's player spotlight, brought to you by Geico. And Hawkins, 1,016 yards. And the freshman from Florida, the 18th Louisville running back with over 1,000.
And he's listed at 5'9", 182, and they said he's bulked up to maybe closer to 190 pounds, but he's really been a nice player for this Louisville offense.
Going to run it again for a short gain. They'll pick up just 1 yard on that carry.
What Louisville does offensively is they like to run this wide outside zone, and typically, you probably want a little bit bigger of a back to run that scheme. It's kind of a downhill, put you, one cut and go. But Hawkins, despite his size, does a nice job of running it.
2nd down 9 for Cunningham. Going for that short strike off the hands of Fitzpatrick, and incomplete. Fitzpatrick, he can certainly be a big play guy. Averages 19 yards per catch, but nothing there.
It's a rare drop by Fitzpatrick, who been a good player for Louisville for a number of years now, and really consistent. I think he's their most complete wide receiver, and he's a nice complement to what Atwell can do.
So sets up 3rd down and 9. Louisville trying to maintain that momentum they came out of the locker room with. Cunningham in the pocket, throwing over the middle, and that one, flags coming on the incomplete pass. 8:58 to go here in the 3rd, but flags down. Moorhead trying to cover Keon Wakefield.
Pass interference. Defense. Spot foul. And an automatic. First down.
I said it earlier, you live by the blitz, you die by the blitz. And Moorhead here is just going to be covering. And because it's pressure and you've got no help and it's man-to-man, he just latches on, and you can't do that. And so, you know, that was one of the concerns that Dave Huxtable had was, you know, can their guys play with the speed that you're going to see when you face Louisville's offense?
So on first down, the ball does come loose, but after the play is blown dead. As that began at the 42-yard line. And will gain 1 yard to bring up second down and 9. Louisville looking for win number 6 to make them bowl eligible. Under first-year head coach Scott Satterfield. Trying to keep those feet warm. Tough to do that tonight. Temperature continuing to plummet. The wind has not ceased all night. Cunningham drops back, throwing long, and that play broken up, but flags again. Into the double coverage, but flags down. Intended for Seth Dawkins.
Pass interference, number 28, defense, 15-yard penalty, and an automatic. First down.
It's Keyshawn Miller who's in there because of so many injuries at the cornerback position. Basically was third string to start the season. He's in good position on Dawkins. If he just trusts his technique, turns around and locates the football, I think he has a chance to intercept it, but he panics, grabs the receiver, and that's the right call.
Painful penalty again for the Wolfpack. Right up the gut on the run before he's finally taken down. Hawkins with the carry. And stopped by Tanner Engel, who may have saved a touchdown there. It gained 7. So into the red zone. Second down and 3. Louisville driving again with the help of 2 pass interference penalties. Cunningham from the shotgun. For Hawkins again, trying that left side and trying to cut back in. And eventually tackled by Smith Williams.
And you can see the bind that this Louisville offense can put you in. They want to run the football. Scott Satterfield wants to run it. That would be his preference in terms of how he scores, how he controls a football game. But when you commit a bunch of guys to stop the run, to defend the run, to bring some of the pressures we've seen NC State bring, then you're forced to play man coverage, and you're playing man coverage against a really good group of wide receivers.
First down and 10 at the 20. Cunningham dancing, now sprinting. He'll step out. So Cunningham on the run. We talked about it earlier. You know, in his career, he has run for 10 touchdowns. So adds that very dangerous element, particularly this close.
And when I see him run, I'm always wondering, why don't you do this more? I mean, he's such a good runner. And talking to him, he wants to be known as a passer first. That's what he wants to do. And I think he's a little bit reluctant to run because when he takes off and goes with it, he can be really dangerous.
10th play of the drive from the 14-yard line. Hawkins got a couple of blocks, still banging ahead. Boy, another tough run for Hawkins.
It's a tough run, and it's a nice block by Marshawn Ford. And you just look at the hole that he has to run through. Great angle here. You see Ford leading up through the way, and then look at the tough run, as you said, Dave. Not bad for a guy that's listed just over 180 pounds. But that's why he's a fit for what they want to do offensively. Despite his size, he does hit it hard.
He really does. Took a crunching hit at the end there. First and goal. Cunningham. Room to run. And he'll be shy as he is knocked out by Moorhead. Not afraid to take those hits either. So here comes Louisville again. 5:47 to go here in the third. Already up 20-10 and looking to drive it in again. So far an 11-play, 63-yard drive. It's taken over 5 minutes. 2 big penalties in there too. Cunningham wants to throw. Now he's going to run it. And he is stopped shy of the goal line down to the 1-yard line.
And that's really a little bit of a zone read where you have the tight end or fullback going into the flat. They ran it earlier. It was a successful play. And Cunningham, I think, comes off of it a little bit too early. And then as he is attacking the goal line, takes a pretty big hit. And we've seen him, Dave, come out of a bunch of games this year, you know, where he does run, he gets a little bit banged up. And fortunately for Louisville, they've gotten good play out of Evan Conley, their backup, but Cunningham a little slow to get up after both of those hits.
3rd and goal inside 5 minutes and a quarter. He's going to throw to the end zone and call a touchdown. He will hit the tight end. Pfeiffer with the catch. Grad transfer from Vandy. Well, he got into the book with a touchdown catch against Miami, his first career touchdown, his first career catch, and he does it again in this one.
Tight ends love this. You get down tight, you make everyone feel like you're going to pour it up in there with the run game, and you just leak your tight end out, and just a corner flat combination, and it's a wide open tight end, and easy throw for your quarterback.
Oh, what a push here by the Cardinals here in the second half. Extra point is good to make it 27-10.
Outstanding drive by the Louisville offense, just leaning on this NC State defense and able to cap it off with a touchdown pass to the tight end.
The College Football Playoff Top 25 Ranking Show, Tuesday at 7 on ESPN.
Well, Louisville is taking command of this one, Tim, 27-10.
Really an offensive explosion in the second half, and it's all because of turnovers, and in some cases unforced turnovers by the NC State offense.
And it's a very smart play by the quarterback, Cunningham. And how about Ian Pfeiffer, who's a former offensive lineman at Vandy? He said, to heck with that, I want to catch footballs now. Graduate transfer. He comes to Louisville. He's caught 2 passes in his career, both for touchdowns. And now the Disney bundle is available as we speak. You get ESPN Plus with great content like NFL Primetime, UFC, NHL, the 30 for 30 library, which is amazing. And you get Disney Plus and Hulu. It's an amazing package of movies, sports, and shows. Go to ESPNplus.com right now to sign up.
That is a good deal right there, Dave.
Terrific package. You get all 3 for just $12.99 per month. NC State attempting to answer. They have really been punched in the mouth here by the Louisville Cardinals. Larry back to throw, had time, got that one off and complete for a very short gain. They wanted a lot more than that on a completion to Carter, but he was tackled after a 4-yard pickup. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 6. So coming up in the last 4 minutes of the 3rd. Louisville was down at halftime 10-7, but they have dominated the second half on the rumble up the middle, the carry by Knight, who was nicked up early in the game. Burns will stop him after a 6-yard gain. And that'll move the chains.
Yeah, and I mentioned it earlier about you get into these known passing situations where you're behind, you have to throw a bunch. I don't think that's where they want Devin Leary operating. You see what they're even doing here. They're not abandoning the idea of running the football.
Dropping back. Now scampering at the 30 and looking to step out to bring up 2nd down.
That was a good decision. They have formation into the boundary. They had trips into the boundary, and they're trying to, get somebody up the sideline. It was Thayer Thomas, and it wasn't there. Leary comes off of it, was able to buy a little bit of time, take off and run, rather than force it. Let the score dictate where you throw the football. Be smart with it.
Leary, they're calling him the future of the program. The freshman getting a chance to start these last 3 games, and there's a great deal of talent. We've seen really tremendous arm strength at times tonight, and he does not lack for self-confidence, but this is straight uphill tonight.
It is, and Listen, part of it's his doing. I mean, he throws an interception on a shovel pass where I think he gets confused with the guard and the running back, and then he has a ball fall out of his hand. He's going to throw. And so those are mistakes that you need to eliminate if you are going to be the future of the program.
3rd down 3. NC State trying to put a sustained drive together. He's going to be flushed out and run with it again before he is tied up and stopped by Goldwire. But a good carry there to pick up a 1st down.
Yeah, and another good decision is because when he looks outside, he's trying to throw the hitch to his right. It's not there. And rather than just standing there holding the football, patting it, waiting for someone to do something, make a quick, decisive decision, get up the field and try to pick up some positive yards.
He certainly needs to make something good happen here. He has time to do it in the latter stages of the 3rd. Not much there for Bam Knight, however. Goldwire again with another tackle. He's had a very nice night. We talk about some of the guys that Devin Leary was with there in that Elite 11.
And there's Quincy Patterson, who obviously has done a good job at Virginia Tech. Of course, everyone can't miss Trevor Lawrence with his hair. And Jaron Williams, who off a good performance a week ago. There's Devin Leary, and Justin Fields also in that group. You look at some of those ACC quarterbacks, and in pretty good company.
Some group. It's off tonight on the pass play. Burns got him after a pickup of 3. Trevor Lawrence had a really fine day today. He was on fire from the get-go in the Clemson victory. And they rolled against Wake Forest. Here it's Louisville up 27-10. And a flag down.
It's one of the best things Devin Leary's done tonight is use this double count.
Yeah, that has caused a couple of issues.
Offside. Defense. Number 93. Entering the neutral zone, causing an offensive player to react. 5-yard penalty. Results in a 1st down.
As you see there, I mean, it's been 3rd and long every time they've done it. And, the next step for an offense is that, but then the free play. That's what you see Aaron Rodgers do. It's what you see Tom Brady do. And you got to be on the same page with your offensive line. And when that happens, ball snap, you get a free play.
Gary McCray with a penalty. Hand off for Bam Knight, trying to spin away from it and pick up a little extra. Stopped by C.J. Avery. No gain. So now it's 4th and 3 with less than a minute to go in the 3rd quarter.
And I think this is the right decision. I mean, I think, the way your defense has been struggling in the 2nd half and knowing what you're dealing with, a manageable 4th down on the plus side of the 50, I think it's the right decision by Dave Dorn.
8 out of 20 for the year on 4th down conversions. Trailing by 17. Leary looking to throw and completes it right into the middle to Thomas, who's really been quieted tonight. Typically, he's a receiver he's going to look for.
Yeah, and basically it's a busted coverage. Louisville's bringing a blitz, and they just overrun Thomas. He just runs a little spot route, sits down. It's the primary read for Leary. Good quick decision, and now this offense can get into a rhythm.
Pick up a 1st down. That's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter here in Raleigh, where you score Louisville 27 and NC State 10. NC State looking for a spark, looking to get in the end zone on this drive. They trail 27-10 to Louisville. Very impressive 3rd quarter by the Cardinals. And here comes the 10th play of the drive for the Wolfpack as we get the 4th underway. Ricky Person now the running back for NC State. He'll have the football. Trying to bust ahead to the 30-yard line.
You look at this drive here. Devin Leary has kind of stacked some good decisions on this drive. Just need to come away with points now if you're NC State.
A 5-yard gain there. He'll throw that one and complete on a very tough pass. Emezi with the reception right along the sideline.
And Devin Leary is lucky here. They're clouding that, meaning they're playing cover 2 to the side of Emezi. That ball should be intercepted. That's a bad defensive play. Should not be thrown, and he's really fortunate that Anthony Johnson didn't make the play.
Gain of 14. From the shotgun back to throw. Throwing to an open receiver and a touchdown to Person. And they are right back in the game. A 16-yard touchdown reception by Ricky Person.
And look at what happens here. They run a fake screen here, and then they run up the rail, and it's going to get the influence of the defenders to that screen. Look at them pursue it, and that's what gets Person so wide open. Really cool play design. Good job of protecting long enough for it to develop and get off, but the fake go screen is what springs Person out of the backfield.
Done for the extra point to make this a 10-point game, and he nails it to make it 27-17.
And NC State needed exactly this. Good decisions by the quarterback. Cap it off with some points as Leary's able to find Person for the touchdown.
Tim Leary on that drive, 5 for 5, 47 yards.
Yeah, a lot of good decisions. Got away with one. Did get a completion out of it. And, you know, right there, you're talking to Des Kitchens, and he's saying, hey, look, good job on that drive. This is what they were doing to us on first down. This is what they were doing when we were formation into the boundary. And if we get another opportunity to go out there, this is what you should expect and maybe what I'm going to. And so, you know, I think those are the types of things that, you know, you can try to build on with Devin Leary.
That's a kick, and that one goes out. And what an interesting decision that was. 14-11 to go. Let's get out of Katie.
Well, NC State's defense was visibly frustrated over here on the sidelines and tired. Multiple guys were taking oxygen over here as defensive line coach Kevin Patrick was urging them to continue to fight and to stay into this game. Nothing supported his words more so than Ricky Pearson's touchdown. Completely changed the demeanor of this entire defense, guys.
All right, Katie, thank you very much. Well, a ton of time left. First down and 10 coming up, and Louisville on top 27-17. And we'll get very, very nice field position here.
And I understand taking a chance. You just got to execute it better, you know. I've seen Ohio State do that where they kind of pooch it up there and they catch it, but if you kick it out of bounds, you really put your team in a tough spot.
Cunningham throwing deep as a receiver, but he's going to underthrow him. There is a flag down right at the 5-yard line. Trying to connect with Des Fitzpatrick. Dunlap, the right corner. He was with him.
Pass interference. Number 24, defense. 15-yard penalty and an automatic. First down.
It's another example where an NC State defender is in position, just turn and locate the football. You know, we've seen this a couple times now where you're in good position to make a play. The ball's a little bit underthrown. That could be intercepted. If you just trust your technique, turn around, locate the football, make a play on it, rather than running into the wide receiver.
Pass hit him in the back. So at the 32. And a handoff for Hall. He's going to be stopped by Murchison, who has returned with a vengeance after their first half injury.
I think NC State's done a nice job of defending the run tonight. I mean, and the guys up front, Murchison in particular, done a really good job of fighting off of blocks. We've seen Smith Williams do it, and I think that's, you know, one of the reasons they've been able to hang in here. You just look at the rush offense for Louisville, a team that's done an excellent job of running the ball all year long.
And off for Hall. And picks up a couple of yards in that carry, a gain of 3 actually.
And by the way, how good does that look? I mean, if I could do it, Dave, I would.
That is Brock Miller with all that hair.
Throw it while you got it.
Or I should say Drake Thomas with all that hair. 3rd down and 7. Coming up on 13 minutes to go here in the 4th. 3rd and 7 for Cunningham. Out of the shotgun, throwing short to Hall. Hall to the left side and banged out, but picks up a 1st down.
It's a great read. It's a great read by Mikael Cunningham. Basically what happens is they're running the back into the flat, and they're going to get pressure off the side. And the defender that has to cover the flat has got so far to go. Good job of squeezing it down by the offensive line. And so Cunningham knows they're blitzing his protection. Just throw it into the flat, and you're out leveraging the defense, and that's really well done.
They pick up 14 yards to get to the 15-yard line, 1st and 10. Hawkins with the carry on 1st down. He'll gain 2.
You know, Cunningham has continued to do a good job of passing the football. For a guy that's a tremendous runner, and I'm saying earlier, hey, we'd like to see him run more because he's so talented. I think he's really shown us throughout the season how he can make plays from inside the pocket.
You know, and he makes smart decisions, too. So he's only been intercepted 3 times.
Yeah, and another part of smart decisions, Dave, is knowing your issues in pass protection, like he did just there on the 3rd down.
Wants to throw again. Now he'll step up on the run and dives inside the 5-yard line with that carry before Moore stops him. He picks up 9 yards.
And it's another one of those smart decisions, Dave, where he's working a corner flat combination to his right. It's covered up, and then the decision to take off and run, and that's a big pickup in the red zone when you're able to do that.
1st and goal. A carry to the 4-yard line. Louisville banging on that door again. The tailback, and nothing developing over that right side on that carry. In fact, it loses 1 yard. Martin with the tackle. 2nd down and goal.
And if you're NC State, don't you think you have to find Pfeiffer? Don't you have to find him? 2 catches for 2 touchdowns.
Look for number 89. His percentage is pretty good.
I do think we're going to get some play action here out of this Louisville offense. They haven't had the success they traditionally have with the run game, but the play action game has been very good.
10.5 to go. Cunningham looking for a block. He spins, and again they're going to lose ground. Dunlap in pursuit. That lost 2 yards.
It's amazing he didn't lose more because the penetration, you know, you had defenders in the backfield before he's able to let that play develop. They're just trying to run an option to the left, and Cunningham does a good job of fighting forward. It just.
Now James Smith-Williams is down for NC State. At least he's up on a knee. We'll be back with more in a moment.
ACC Network Primetime Football is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, Louisville back at it with their explosive plays, and they have been amazing on 3rd down tonight.
Incredible, and part of it's been the quarterback has done a great job on 3rd down, but it's been big plays, it's been turnovers. That's really been the story of the game, and you know, help that Louisville offense get back on track.
8 out of 12 on 3rd down, facing one here on 3rd and goal at the 7-yard line. And on top by 10. And particularly on 3rd down in the 2nd half, they've been just absolutely golden. About 10 minutes to go. Wolfpack facing a huge stop as they try and stay in the game. And a snap to Cunningham. They come after him. He'll loft it to the end zone, but short. Incomplete. Good pressure there by Harris. Shaquille Harris, the free safety.
Yeah, and he's putting pressure on the quarterback because it's all-out blitz again. NC State decided to heat him up, and basically they timed the pressure up again. Now Cunningham saw it, was aware of it, and as a quarterback, you need to just drift, give ground, give yourself a split second more to be able to throw the football, and he just can't get enough on it to Ford. Excuse me, that's not Ford, but Davis, who's wide open in the end zone.
Ryan Chalafu on from 25 yards for the field goal. And he'll fake it. On the move, he's going to throw for the end zone and caught. And a touchdown. It's Ford again. What a play here by Louisville. They have a couple of those tonight to make Satterfield smile and open up a 33-17 lead.
And this may be the best throw by a kicker that I have ever seen. It's covered up. Draw the defense to you. Ford basically bounces off running the corner route, takes the hit. Pat McAfee is going crazy somewhere right now with that. Are you kidding me?
How about that? Ingle with the pressure and with the hit, but he got it off in time. And now he's going to kick the point after the touchdown pass. Pretty remarkable. Trying to make it 34-17, and he drills it.
What a play. Gutsy call by Scott Satterfield, but what an outstanding play by the kicker. Throwing a touchdown pass to Marshawn Ford.
Welcome back to ACC Network Primetime Football presented by Geico. Louisville on top 34-17. How about this? Ryan Chalafu, the backup kicker. They lost the regular kicker, Blanton Creaky, back in late October to a season-ending knee injury, a torn ACL. So Chalafu has yet to connect on a field goal. He missed one earlier, but he does have a touchdown pass now. Incredible.
Probably going over to Scott Satterfield and say, hey, just listen, know my strengths.
What a story that is. And off into the end zone, and they'll bring it out to the 25-yard line. So take a look at the play.
Yeah, when you look at it, what happens is NC State has it covered up. I mean, you look at it, covered up here, but what happens is basically you're going to uncover. Ford's going to uncover, and then Chalafu just draws the defense in and then sees Ford bounce off of the corner route back inside. And then you just look at it here. I mean, Isaiah Moore is beside himself, and then look at the celebration by the Louisville field goal team because they can't believe their kicker just threw a touchdown pass. But Isaiah Moore had Ford covered, comes off of him, and he knew it as soon as that ball was caught.
That's as good as a trick play gets. When your kicker fires a touchdown pass. And out of bounds, that's going to be incomplete. And how about the celebration?
Well, listen, you should. I mean, you haven't made a field goal yet. You're like, yes, this just happened. I just threw a touchdown. And by the way, it wasn't a gimme. I hope people understand it. There's some quarterbacks that will come off that, just decide to throw that football away.
There's the party in the locker room side. And, man, do they know how to do it. We have seen that before. They have our cameras in there. They flat get after it. About 9.5 minutes to go. They're on top 34-17. And the pass is complete to Thomas from Devin Leary. Well, this was after the BC game. That was one wild win. And they know how to party. And then Wake Forest. We had that game. It was 62-59. You talk about a crazy game. And they won that and celebrated in style again.
Well, talking to Scott Satterfield before the game about, being a bowl eligible team, he said, if that happens, we are going to be partying in the locker room afterwards. It's evidence that that's what they do.
Leary stepping up, trying to dance inside. He'll pick up a first down.
Number 13,
NC State trying to get some life in the offense. Leary, the youngster, has been described as the future of the program, making his third consecutive start. The freshman, man down, and his cane pass, but quickly up. We have 8:50 to go. 34-17 Louisville. Boy, how about your backup kicker elevated to the lead role, but he still has not hit a field goal in his career, but he does have a touchdown pass. Ryan Chalafu.
That's quite a graphic there, and you can see by the excitement and laughter on the sideline that I don't think that's how he exactly had it planned in his mind.
You make a great point about how composed he was and how long he carried it. And on the double pass, got a man open, and that's going to be broken up. There, Thomas on the throw. Now, he does have a couple of touchdown passes this year.
He does. He's a very good baseball player. He's kind of their double pass guy, and he had Person open, and you know, we mentioned it being kind of windy. That ball kind of hung up there a little bit and allowed Louisville to rally, make a play on it.
I mentioned there, Thomas, pretty good outfielder, good enough to be drafted by the Boston Red Sox in the 33rd round. His middle name is Rockney. And after Newt, so this will bring up 2nd down and 10. Nothing doing right up the middle by Houston. Pass with the tie-up as he will set him down and bring up 3rd down.
And I'm a little bit surprised with it 34-17 that they've still kind of maintained some type of balance in their offense like this. I would expect them to really open it up, you know, and kind of just trust Devin Leary, you know, put him into some of these situations and see him grow, see how he responds to it.
Yeah, you figure why not, especially with his arm strength. And throw it downfield. They bring pressure. He does dump it off. Houston. He'll gain 6.
And that's that same screen we saw earlier. It's that little angle screen, and you know, at least it gets them in a situation where, you know, it's a 4th and 6 and you have a chance, or excuse me, 4th and 4 and you get a chance to get the 1st down.
Spotted at the 37. So 4th down and 4. And from the 43-yard line, he is back to pass and throws that one complete. Got it out to Carter to gain that 1st down.
And I think for these guys now, you know, NC State, get up and get into a rhythm. Get up and make it feel like you are pushing tempo in this situation. Because if you know, you want to see how your young quarterback is going to grow and respond. And I think that, you know, in a 2-minute situation where you have nearly 7 minutes to do it, you're going to see a lot of different things and a lot of different opportunities for a young quarterback to grow.
Under 7 to play here in Raleigh. 1st down and 10. On the scamper Person. He had to come into the ball game fairly early when Bam Knight got nicked up for a while. And he and Houston and Knight have done most of the rushing this evening. Houston back in there at the back, 2nd down and 8. 34-17 Louisville. Larry looking downfield. Now he's flushed out of there, and down he goes. G.G. Robinson will get to him.
I think Larry holds on to this ball a little bit too much. I think he gets confused as he's trying to work the seams, little switch route seam to his left, and you hold on to the football that long, and Fred Jackson is, you know, gets beat inside. You know, as a quarterback, after your 2nd hitch at the top of your drop, it's time to either take off and run or get rid of the football.
Larry taking his 1st sack, trying to avoid his 2nd. He'll air it out, but that's incomplete. Over the head of Houston. So 4th and 10. And the punting unit will stay off the field with 5:39 to go.
And if you're NC State, basically what you've been getting is you've been getting 2 high safeties this whole time here. And I think when that's the case, you got to try to work the middle of the field. Would it be the Thayer Thomas or Angeline, the tight end, the big target?
Looking to throw right down the center, and a tough catch, nicely done. Amika Amizi.
Well, that's attack in the middle of the field, just a high-low, and Mezzi running the in-cut. Good timing. You see Angela, he's going to sit it down, and then there's the high-low. But that's the area that's open right now, getting soft coverage.
He'll fire again, and the catch made by Thomas. Another first down as they move the football.
Yeah, and this is what I mean about seeing a young quarterback and seeing him grow. Get into these situations, you get a little bit of tempo, you see the arm strength, really good throw on an in cut, great ball on a seam.
Picked up 20 there. Now going for the end zone, but overthrown, incomplete. Thomas running the route, but incomplete. C.J. Avery was there with him.
That is a great play to learn from. You just threw a seam where you had to really drive the football there. Then you're trying to throw that same seam route, different area of the field, different type of coverage, change the ball trajectory, and then give your guy an opportunity to try to touch it, maybe get a call rather than throwing it out of the back of the end zone.
And Leary has had some impressive throws on this drive. And we have a player down with 5:06 to go in the contest. Well, Boozy Whitlow is the man down, but he is quickly back up again, the 6'3", 230-pound senior. As NC State tries to punch one into the end zone, trailing 34-17 to Louisville. And Leary here from the 13-yard line. Second down and 10 for the Wolfpack. He throws short over the middle, and it's broken up. Wanted Thomas again, but incomplete. To bring up third down and 10, and the 15th play of this drive forthcoming.
Dave Dorn told us, Dave, said, you know, this year of adversity is going to help us win a championship here. And I think it's moments like these where you kind of find the fight in your football team, and you also see, you know, how young guys can get better.
The red shirt freshman back to throw once again. He'll carry that one before he is upended right at the 10-yard line by Dorian Etheridge. So that play gains just 3 yards. Clock running, 4:42 to go. And the kicker, Christopher Dunn, on. Dunn, as mentioned, a finalist for the Place Kicker of the Year award. This attempt will be from 27 yards. And for Dunn, that one is good. NC State adding 3. So down 14 with 4:19 to go. That's been a very nice night for Mikhail Cunningham, the quarterback for Louisville, who attended Park Crossing High School in Alabama. Was a 4-star recruit there. Chose Louisville over LSU, Georgia, Kentucky, and Purdue, among others. And of course, the name change, going by Mikhail instead of Malik, as of the week of his 21st birthday.
Caught some people off guard, but the other thing that catches people off guard is some of the plays this guy makes. You know, in the pocket to Des Fitzpatrick. I think he's shown Scott Satterfield that he's probably a better and more accurate passer than maybe Satterfield thought coming into taking this job and being able to coach him. And it's been evidence tonight as you see that beautiful ball to Ford on the touchdown. And he's also a very good runner. He's a really, really good football player.
And again, does not make many mistakes at all. Doesn't throw a ton, but his pass efficiency rating, number 5 in the nation, coming into play tonight. And he's 13 out of 20, 242 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Which is an outstanding night. And I kind of made the comment during the week. I was surprised he keeps getting hurt in football games, and Evan Conley comes in and plays well. And you know, Cunningham wasn't recruited by Scott Satterfield and this staff, and Evan Conley was, and that's always a dangerous situation. I think certain players, you know, can feel uneasy about it, but Scott Satterfield has decided to stay with Cunningham, and it appears to be a very good decision. And I think it's his unique ability. He's such a tremendous runner, and I think he's been a better passer, and that's why it's he's remained the starter.
He's really had a standout game. Trying to scamper to that right side is Hawkins. As the clock continues to run, approaching 4 minutes to go. And Louisville, fairly comfortable lead at this point, up 34-20.
You know, we've talked a few times about Louisville becoming a bowl eligible team and what that would mean for Scott Satterfield. And you think about what happens when, you know, you go to a bowl game, you get a bunch of extra practices. You think about for a first-year head coach to have the opportunity to practice for a couple extra months to get ready for a bowl game and evaluate your players, get them more familiar with your system. That's a big deal and a huge advantage.
Straight ahead on the carry is Hawkins. Satterfield doing such a good job of knocking the sour taste out of everybody's mouths from last year.
Well, and immediately, you know, talking to Dwayne Ledford, the offensive line coach, he said, you know, in the first meeting he had, about 4 minutes into the first team meeting, he got a standing ovation from the players. And I think that however he's done it, he's won this team over quickly. And they're playing for him. They enjoy being around him. And there's Dwayne Ledford, who came from NC State and did a good job with an offensive line group here at NC State. He calls it the Band of Brothers, the guys that he coaches. And he's done an excellent job of just turning that offensive line play around for Louisville. And so I think the combination of these coaches has been really good. As you see the reunion for Dwayne Ledford, I think he was well liked by a lot of people.
It'd be an upset, though, if a Louisville coach didn't grab somebody around the back of the neck, you know, and wrestle him probably to the ground.
I think that's how they do it. And, you know, you think about some of the guys here. Garrett Bradbury, first-round draft pick of the Minnesota Vikings, was the center here for Dwayne Ledford at NC State, and he's done a good job coaching guys. And I think that, you know, he's inherited some pretty good players on that Louisville offensive line as well.
NC State just took a timeout, and another carry, this time by Cunningham. And stopped by Smith Williams, who is the injured player. And he is not moving. 3:15 to go here. He wound up on top of Cunningham, who was the man with the football. And he's got an awful lot of people around him. James Smith Williams. Now Satterfield coming over.
Well, I think for Satterfield, you know, he sees his quarterback Cunningham still on the ground. He doesn't know if Cunningham's in fact injured, but it's Cunningham can't get up because Smith Williams, you know, is on top of him.
We're going to take a break, and we'll continue with more here in Raleigh in just a moment. Well, for NC State, their outstanding defensive end, 6'3", 265-pound senior, and he's a Raleigh product. James Smith Williams, really a vital run stopper for them. You can see the looks of concern because he went down and did not have the opportunity, Tim, on a replay that we saw, to brace himself with his hands or any part of his body. So it kind of went down on the side of his head, on the side of his face.
Yeah, and it's great to see him sitting up right there. You know, these are always tough situations, but you're exactly right, Dave. It just kind of was an awkward situation where he wasn't able to get his hand down, and that is great news. Because for a while there,
yeah, we thought he was out.
Yeah, and I think it made it because he wasn't able to brace his fall. I mean, his head hit the ground really hard, and that is that's fantastic to see. Because you look at it here, basically, as he's trying to tackle Cunningham, he can't get his right hand down, and then that's just his head slamming the ground really hard. And I think that, you know, Cunningham was trying to get up, and he was like, hey, get off me. But, you know, obviously, you know, Smith Williams wasn't necessarily responding at that point. And with the cart on the field, there is no better sign than to have James Smith-Williams walking off the field under his own power.
You said it, and signaling to the crowd here, as we mentioned, he's from Raleigh. This is his hometown. So friends and family to cheer him on tonight, and that was what that signal was intended for, along with the fans. He's a heck of a player, gets to wear that number 1, as Katie explained earlier. That's quite an honor. He is going to leave the field here in the final minutes with Louisville in front 34-20. And Cunningham also dragged down on a very tough tackle. So 3:15 to go here on a night that has seen some unusual events, including a place kicker firing a touchdown pass. The backup kicker, who's now the number 1 kicker for Louisville, on a terrific trick play on a fake kick, and it went for 6 on a touchdown pass. About as beautifully executed as you're ever going to see that play.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. And, you know, this game has the feel of, you know, Louisville basically having complete control over it. But, you know, as you see the fake here, I mean, this is what I mean about Chalafu covered up on the fake, but draws the defense in, takes a huge shot from Tanner Engel, and still throws a touchdown pass. Look at Scott Satterfield. I mean, you think he's like, wait a second, that's not how I drew it up, but it worked out. And but I will tell you what, you know, this game has the feel of it being completely lopsided. It's a 2-score game, and you know, an opportunity to get the football back for NC State.
Yep, still over 3 minutes to play. 4th down and 4. And King back to punt. And Thayer Thomas, who's really good on punt returns. And that one is going to bounce, boy, inside the 2-yard line. Outstanding play.
An outstanding play. And you know, I'm just saying that it's a 2-score game, but you want to make it tough on somebody. How about you kick it out of bounds right at about the 1-yard line to, you know, ask a redshirt freshman to say, well, if you're going to bring your team back, you got to go 99 yards.
Yeah, that's all. Coming up after the game, be sure to stick around for Jack Collinsworth and the studio gang for all ACC. They have all the scores, the highlights, the breakdowns, the post-game interviews from the day. Nobody covers the ACC like we do. That's right after we wrap things up in Raleigh. So from his own 1-yard line, Larry will take over with 3:07 left as he'll set up in the end zone. Looking to pass. Now he'll run it out of there.
And you see the tempo he played with there. A lot of times as a quarterback, you do that when you drop back and you're in your own end zone. I think that's the tempo that he needs to play with inside the pocket on all areas of the field.
Throwing short and complete. Got that one to Bam Knight. So 1st down and 10 as Leary moves it ahead. Trailing by 14. Leary back to throw again. Another short toss, bobbled and incomplete. Out of the hands of Bam Knight.
You know, for as well as some things have gone for this Louisville team, I have to think Scott Satterfield's nervous at this situation. You look at the last 2 drives for NC State, 16 plays and a touchdown, 12 plays and a field goal. In his defense, Scott Satterfield's defense has been prone to giving up big plays. So these are kind of these situations where coaches can, you know, never, ever really relax.
Gave up 59 points at Wake Forest, gave up 52 at Miami, 39 to Boston College. Certainly been better tonight. That one rifled and batted away, incomplete. Slapped away by Etheridge, who's had a really solid night for the Louisville defense. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 10, a little over 2 minutes to go. NC State still with 1 timeout remaining. And 3rd and 10 for Leary. Back to throw again. Still backing up. Throws over the middle. That'll be complete. Shy of the 40-yard line. Emezi, and that goes for 21 yards.
Yeah, they're trying to get that in cut that they hit earlier to Emezi, and it's not there. Leary holds onto the football, does a nice job of drifting back. Emezi bounces back off after, running the in cut just to uncover, and Leary does a nice job of finding him.
Throwing right over the middle again as he dumps it off for Person.
This is what I'm talking about with Leary, and this is why I think you can see your quarterback grow. Look at him. I mean, he's directing traffic, pointing to Emezi of where he wants him to go. And, the other thing that Leary's done a nice job on this drive is you're getting a lot of Tampa 2 coverage. You hear people say Tampa 2. That means the linebackers drop deep. Just go ahead and check it down to your back. Take the completion. You don't need to get it all back in one play.
Thomas with the catch. That picks up 8 yards. Now Leary's got him on the move here. Under 90 seconds to play. They're going to take him down. There's going to be a face mask here. Big time on gold wire. Reason for the flag with 1:25 to go.
Yeah, and this is a
personal foul. Face mask. Number 90. Defense. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Boy, that looked ugly.
Yeah, it looked really ugly. Good to see Leary pop up right away. And, the penalty actually, in some ways, it helped some substitutions for the Louisville defense. They were looking gassed. And, I think you just see the fight in this football team a little bit. I think it's somewhat representative of their head coach. And the fight Dave Doran kind of instills in this team because, they're not necessarily going away quietly.
Has the choice to start the clock on the snap or the ready. They will start it on the snap.
Well, you said it at 3:15 to go. The game was not over.
No, it certainly isn't. You get a big play here, and, you're still alive. And, again, I'll just go back to the issues that Louisville has had on the defensive side, giving up big plays.
Leary got it off in time, throwing for the end zone, but incomplete. Wanted Devin Carter, but couldn't get it to him. 1:19 to play.
And Louisville has continued to just, basically help their corners, play with 2 high safeties. In the middle of the field is the area that you need to attack. And so finding ways, whether it's Angeline, who's the big, 6'7" tight end, or whether it's there Thomas, who's done a nice job of working the middle, you have to find ways to do that.
Leary to throw. Buying himself some time, and he's hit. Well, he releases the football. Flags are down, and he is 2 with 1:09 to go. And shaken up on the play. Monty Montgomery got to him. And take a look. And flushed out of there and running for his life. Tried to get the pass off.
Here's what's interesting about this. I think we're going to get a hit to the head of the quarterback. As a defenseless player. You see that's forcible contact to his head. And I also believe, Dave, that this is a fumble. And that ball was scooped up. I believe it was Aquanu, the left tackle. That ball was picked up and advanced inside the 15-yard line.
I got it down to the 14.
You see, he picks it up. I did not hear a whistle. He runs with it. It's a big man to get to the ground, but that's inside the 15-yard line. Plus, then you figure the penalty. Talking about half the distance. Now, all of a sudden, you're inside the 10-yard line with still over a minute to play.
And holy cow.
Ruling on the previous play was a fumble advanced by the offense. The play is under further review.
Well, the call on the field is how I have seen the replay. I think it's a nice job by the officials getting that call correctly on the field, in my estimation.
However,
they haven't addressed the flag.
They have not addressed the flag and whether there was a penalty on the play, but a flag was definitely dropped.
Well, and it was thrown right in the area where, Leary was hit
by Montgomery.
And that's forcible contact to the head of a court. I mean, I think you could get a face mask call there if it's not roughing the passer. I mean, Montgomery's hand is right into the face mask. And it does move the head of Leary, but to me, that is a forcible contact to the head of the quarterback.
Let's see where the flag comes in.
And that's typically the official that right there. That's the angle where you're calling a roughing the passer penalty. And it's a heads-up play by a true freshman left tackle, Kwonu, to pick the football up and keep playing.
So let's see the explanation on this.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Holding, number 7. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 7. That penalty is accepted. Half the distance to the goal and an automatic first down.
I'm not sure how Montgomery held and had the roughing the passer penalty, but I think it maybe is 27 holding Johnson. Did you see him grabbing a Mezzi?
The unnecessary roughness is on number 7.
Yeah, and I think the officials get it right. I think they got it right, and now all of a sudden you're inside the 7-yard line. Your offense had a chance to regroup. Leary had some time to kind of compose himself after getting hit.
So first down and goal, and a whistle. Ball on the 7-yard line. And another discussion. And now they will let them play. 1:09 to go. And another whistle.
Well, I think the official was trying to explain something to Dave Dorn, and the head referee was trying to start play, but not the officials weren't in position to go.
So NC State with a pulse here. Leary rolling right. Looking for somebody, still looking. He's going to throw that one away. With 1:02 to go. 2nd and goal for the Wolfpack.
Good decision there by Leary. I think they're trying to get a pick or a rub, try to get their Thomas open in the flat. They're able to pass it off that Louisville defense, and a throwaway is the best play right there.
Wolfpack driving for that end zone. Good protection. Now he's going to try and run it. Takes a big hit around the 5-yard line. And Leary will get up. Got stuck by Gigi Robinson.
Timeout, NC State.
And NC State
third and final
will take their last timeout.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
And it's a 30-second timeout.
And with the clock being an issue, wanting to save timeouts because obviously, not being able to stop the clock because you don't have timeouts. You got to throw the football. You got 2 downs here to throw the football into the end zone. That's what you need to do. And you think about this for Devin Leary. This drive, Dave, started on the 1-yard line.
That's right after the outstanding punt to stick it at the 1-yard line. And here he is now, 3rd and goal with 55 seconds to play. He is 24 out of 42. And 2 touchdowns so far.
And this is by far the best that he has played in any of his starts. And regardless of how this turns out, I think there's got to be some encouragement from what you've seen from Devin Leary.
Big time, particularly on this drive for the freshman. They're going to throw again to the end zone, and that one's broken up. Etheridge busted it up. They wanted Devin Carter, but incomplete.
And it's the right read. It's just not the right ball location. He's working a high low to his left, and then he's got Carter coming over the middle of the field. See, he starts to his left. You see the eyes? Then he gets back to exactly where he should go with the football. Just needs to be a foot out in front of Carter.
Do or die here for Leary. Throwing for the end zone, and that one is going to be incomplete in the end zone. Mezzi, the intended receiver, And a stop by Chandler Jones, the right corner.
And that's one that I think NC State feels like Emezi has to make. I mean, it's one-on-one on Chandler Jones. Ball's put in a good spot, a little bit inside by Emezi, but big wide receiver, go up and muscle for the football. Chandler Jones, nice job of rallying there, making a play.
Sophomore out of Miami, holding on to the ball to ice it. Louisville 34-20. With 45 seconds to play. And Louisville to pick up that all-important 6th win that makes them bowl eligible to go to 6-4. The players are saying it. We are going bowling.
A cane pass with good little form there too. I bet he's a pretty good bowler.
He looks it.
But you see Satterfield though. He's like, okay, is he going to react to it? Yeah, okay. He's like, all right. They're going to totally relax just yet. But
this has been an impressive turnaround. What he's been able to do, what the Louisville program has accomplished. 6th win of the year, bowl eligible 9 of the last 10 years, but last season was an absolute disaster. It was right around this time they fired the head coach. Satterfield comes on, he's changed so much.
Wow, and that's why you have players, dumping the Gatorade bucket on him, after a win like that. The fact that they are eligible to go to a bowl. And you said it, Dave. I mean, they were a disaster. I mean, they took it over. I think they had a beat-down football team. And I think this turnaround has happened faster than anyone probably would have expected.
Yes.
A lot of buy-in from his players, and it's a good job by Scott Satterfield and his entire coaching staff.
You're taking over somebody else's team. You have a lot of convincing to do. But because of the staff he has, how tight-knit they are, as we mentioned, 6 of the coaches coming from App State along with Satterfield, and they get along so well, and they're tremendous teachers. Let's go down to Katie with Coach Satterfield.
Thanks, Dave. Scott, this was the tale of 2 halves for your team. What impressed you about the way they started the 3rd quarter and how they just finished this game?
Well, yeah, 3rd quarter was awesome. The guys came out and we hit a couple good throws and big-time plays by some wide receivers that we know are really good players. And Malik came back, played a lot better second half. We seemed to do better in the penalty realm late in the second half. And, just proud of our guys. I mean, it's awesome. You get 6 wins and you get bowl eligibility now and a resilient bunch of guys.
For you, you inherit a team that was 2-10 a year ago, and now you help lead them to a bowl. What does that mean to you to see the pure joy that's coming from these guys?
I'm just proud of them, proud of our staff. It hadn't been easy. A lot of these games come down to the end, but we all know, we just said at the end of the season, we hope all the fruits of the labor would come to pass at the end. And to be able to be in this situation right now, we still got 2 games to play. We still got a lot of ball left. We want to continue to get better, but I'm proud of our guys. We know we're going to practice for 3 more weeks at the end of the season.
Ryan misses his first PAT, and then you allow him to throw a touchdown pass. Is that exactly how you drew it up?
That's awesome. We never gave him that look in practice. He had to go out there and stall a little bit and then throw it. I mean, what a big-time play. And then the best kick he's had was that extra point on that one. I guess he's fired up, We turned him loose. But, for him, that's a great story. Just last week was his first time playing, and then all of a sudden now he's throwing touchdown passes. I don't know what's next for him.
Congratulations. Enjoy this.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, Katie, thank you so much. Louisville with 14 points in the first 2.5 minutes of the 3rd quarter, and they were down at halftime, Tim, but those 2.5 minutes flipped the game.
It was an absolute offensive explosion, and it was because they took advantage of some unfortunate turnovers by the NC State offense, and he said it, good plays by the quarterback and those talented wide receivers.
Let's go back to Katie with the winning quarterback, Mr. Cunningham.
Mikhail, a great night for you. The offense really started clicking, especially in that second half. Why was that?
We just took some of those things from the first half and corrected them. I made a couple mistakes in the first half. I do want to give thanks to the O-line with Makai being down. Those guys stood up a lot, and Coach called some good plays, and we executed well in the second half.
This win means you're going to go to a bowl game postseason. After the way things went last year, can you believe that right now?
No, I really can't believe it. Since back in last January when those coaches came, and they just put all of that stuff that they brought with them and just instilled it into us. I mean, we can't wish for a better coaching staff than those guys.
I know you had 4 touchdowns tonight. Are you at all concerned that Ryan is coming for your job after that touchdown pass we saw on the fake kick?
No, Coach did say he's going to start practicing at quarterback this week, so I'm a little worried.
Congratulations. Enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That young man had an outstanding night, didn't he?
He really did, and you could see the fun that he's having playing with his new head coach.
They are going bowling. Louisville with a big win on the road, 34-20 over NC State. For my partner, Tim Hasselbeck, and for Katie George and our entire crew, I'm Dave O'Brien. Thanks so much for joining us. Up next, it's all ACC. We say so long from Raleigh.
All right, so welcome into All ACC. You know the coach, Mark Rick, right here. Eric McLean, EJ Manuel, Jack Collinsworth. Louisville, Cunningham gets this thing done. What stood out most?
I think the thing that changed in the second half was their blitz pickup. You know, the first half, they weren't picking up the blitz.
Yep.
He was getting hit in the mouth a bunch of times or had to scramble. Didn't seem like they had a great plan to either pick it up or have a hot throw if there was more than they could block. And then all of a sudden, they picked, like that first touchdown of the second half, they brought a corner blitz, a will linebacker. The line sorted it out, picked it up. Quarterback was able to stand in the pocket, and Cunningham put it on the money. And all of a sudden, they just took off.
Yeah.
I think those big athletes got after it, man. See Tutu, Fitzpatrick streaking down the side, and really just that's what we probably thought we would see the whole game.
Right.
NC State had a great plan where he was able to get after the quarterback, hit home a couple of times. But like you said, with them being able to pick it up, whether it was a running back, sliding the protection,
right.
You know, McHale absolutely balled out, stayed in there, had a really big game.
Yeah, well, statistically, NC State played well offensively. Leary put up 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, and didn't turn the ball over a bunch. So as a young guy, he's obviously showing improvement. But, you know, again, Louisville has too much firepower. You know, we always talk about the track meet, the amount of guys they have, the speed. And so usually, you know, if it doesn't work in the first half, you can make some adjustments going to that second half. Things start rolling your way. You get some of those big plays, and that's why they pulled out the win.
Yeah, and I'll say Louisville's defense did better. I mean, they were giving up 50 points in games, 40 points. I think, 59? They won 62 and 59.
Yeah.
Right.
Won games. And it wasn't like NC State had a juggernaut of an offense, but the Louisville defense stood up and did a nice job.
I mean, how do you even begin to put this year into words for Scott Satterfield? Where this program was a season ago, and then where it is now, partying their heads off in the locker room. How do you put that?
I think some good words you could put it in is Coach of the Year. You know, I think, and going bowling. I think those are great words. I think we all sat here and maybe thought 2 wins for Louisville when we talked about preseason and looked at their schedule, and nobody could have predicted this drastic of a turnaround, except for those guys in that locker room that we see on this screen right here. That belief, man, it's awesome.
No doubt. I think they lead the nation in celebrations. I mean, if you just took all the locker room scenes of the whole country and took the ones they've had, because how about the first time they beat BC and it was like the first away game they ever won in like I don't know how many years. I mean, they've been celebrating hard. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, and they should. I mean, you consider the season that these guys that were on the team had last year. You know, the coach that, you know, whatever happened with him, he leaves, and then in comes Satterfield, who has, you know, a winning DNA from the places he's been before. He came in, and those players bought into what he was implementing, whether it was in the weight room, going to class, you know, handling your business, you know, on the field, and it shows every day or every Saturday when they go out and play.
How about the kicker, drawing the defense up?
Love it. Love it. Great throw. And I was saying he might have played high school quarterback because that takes a little bit of moxie to have the patience to really, you know, find an open receiver, and he got the ball up and over a defensive back. So got to take a hat off to him. I mean, maybe they do dial that up again in a game when they need it.
Ryan Shalafo is his name.
Is it Shalafo or Shalafo?
We can hear from him. We got the star tonight with Katie George. Let's hear from him right now.
Ryan, you got to talk to me. How often have you practiced that trick play?
Every single day in practice. You know, Blanton would run it every single day, and then since I had to get in there, you know, I've ran that every single day as well, so a lot.
For you missed your first PAT. I'm sure that's not how you wanted things to go, but what did you think of your ability to respond? Were there any nerves going into that one?
I mean, honestly, not as much as I thought. You know, unfortunately, we've been running that every single day, so, you know, it's
time to, trusted training. I knew Marshawn and Mason were going to do a great job. I knew our line was going to be doing a great job blocking. So I had Mitch's perfect snap to me. So it was easy from my part. It was them that did the best work. So.
To be honest, you held on to the ball for a very long time. Did you feel that way?
Oh yeah, it felt like it felt so long, forever.
You're going to a bowl game. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. Means we get one more opportunity to play with these seniors, one opportunity to play football again. Something putting on pads is not something you can do every single day. And, we're fortunate enough to be able to do that, be able to play here for the Louisville Cardinals. So just another opportunity to play football, and that's going to be the best.
Go enjoy that locker room. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much.